Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
And welcome, friends, into North Bay Memorial Gardens, where the 6-0 Ottawa 67s come into town to take on the 4-2 North Bay Battalion, currently 1-0 at home. Something has to fall in between these two teams, just like the snow did last night for the first time. I'm your host, Derek Lindeman, and I'm going to be joined shortly by Courtney Kenny as we have this pregame show brought to you by...
The pregame show is brought to you by La Huerta Imports, family owned and operated since 1995. Visit lahurtaimports.com for more details.
Courtney, at this time, I'd like to welcome you into the pregame show. Two strong teams. We're going to see them come off of a lot of rest for the North Bay Battalion, and the Ottawa 67 still have yet to lose a game.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one for sure because this might be a little bit controversial depending on the outcome of the game. I don't think the 67s are some monster team type of thing, whereas Ben Long, our producer who was on the podcast this week, he mentioned, he was terrified, not necessarily terrified, but scared going up against Hamilton last year. He doesn't get that feeling off Ottawa. They've just had a really good start to their season. We'll have to see, because I think that they started to lose momentum a little bit with their win against Guelph. We'll have to see if that carries into this one, if the Battalion can keep themselves disciplined, as Ottawa went 4 for 4 on the power play in that game against Guelph. We'll have to see. But then the Battalion coming off a really good win against the Peterborough Petes last week, where even though the score was only 3-1, really 2-1 because of the empty net goal, the Battalion really controlled the pace of play for most of that game. And Peterborough's 2 losses on the season is coming at the hands of the North Bay Battalion. So I think the Battalion are coming in here with a lot of confidence so far, and they're playing on their home ice. The last time these two teams met, Ottawa skated away with a victory, but the Battalion were without the services of Kyle McDonald and Avery Winslow. Both were in the lineup here this evening. And, of course, Dennis Mathern, who will be making his season debut. Yeah,
and don't forget the North Bay Battalion. That was their third game in 3 nights as they were on that lengthy road trip. Peterborough, Kingston, and finishing it off in Ottawa. Ottawa coming away with a 4-1 victory that night. You touched on already. Dennis Mathern going to get to see his first OHL action this series. How is that going to be a welcome back for the North Bay Battalion?
I think it's going to be huge for the Battalion, because I think it's going to be a situation where, the rich get richer type of thing, where Dennis Mathern was one of the better shutdown defensemen last year in the OHL. I think he's going to continue that. I mean, the Detroit Red Wings were ecstatic to get him in the draft this year. He went away to their camp, got injured, we haven't seen him in action. So here's hoping that we get some more of what we saw from him last year, and albeit in shortened spurts, because he was injury prone last season as well.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you about that. He's going to be on the third pairing tonight with Wyatt Kennedy, Cam Govero drawing the shorter straw, and will be sitting out tonight. Do you think they'll be managing Dennis Mathern's ice time at all?
I think that's why you see him on the third pairing, because if he was on the top 4, you're expecting him to play 20, 22 minutes a night. Tonight, you're just kind of expecting him to really kind of put in maybe 10 to 15 minutes, and that's what you're hoping to see. I think by the end of it, we're going to see the bench shortened a little bit, just to ease them back in. So we're going to see a lot more of that top 4 of Nelson, Winslow, and Lukin and Christopoulos. So because they've got game action under them, they're already going to be able to hit the ground running in this game. So I could be completely wrong, but I think we'll see Mathern kind of eased into it a little bit in this one, Derek.
And now, for tonight's Players to Watch, as brought to you by Mike the Financial Guy.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike the Financial Advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
One of the big players to watch for the Ottawa 67s, number 13, Tyler Boucher. How potent is he back in this lineup?
Yeah, and he's had a great start to the season for Ottawa, and I feel like that's something that he needs to get going, because he never really got going in the OHL last year. He's a former 10th overall pick by the Ottawa Senators. I almost said 67s. Same town, different teams, different arenas. Actually, I shouldn't even say same towns, right? When we talk about the Senators and the 67s, one of them actually plays in Ottawa proper. It's not the Senators. But anyways, I have to say, I don't think Ottawa is necessarily overly thrilled with his development, and that's the Senators are overly thrilled with the way his development's gone. As a 10th overall pick, you're expecting, somebody who's got star talent who can easily carve up the OHL. Boucher last year didn't really do too much of that, but he has done it this year. He's putting up the points early for Ottawa, and he's going to be dangerous, I think, and he's going to be a different Tyler Boucher than the Battalion saw last year.
Yeah, he's got 4 goals, a couple multiple point games, 2 assists to go along with those 4 goals, 6 points in only 4 games. He's clipping at more than a point a game.
Yeah, he's looked really good for the 67s, and I mean, he's going to be a dangerous option. He just lengthens out that lineup a little bit more. I mean, even his center, Roar, is off to a good start, and Pinelli as well. So it really gives some length to that Ottawa 67s lineup, which last year you really only had to shut down one line, and that's how the Battalion got away with that first-round sweep. And we've talked about it on the broadcast. We've talked about it on the podcast before last year. Even though it was a 4-game sweep, that series was really close between the two teams.
Yes, and now let's take a look at the player to watch for the North Bay Battalion. This week's Frontline Podcast guest and the assistant captain, number 24, Ty Nelson.
Or as we've dubbed his rap nickname, the Kid 24. That's going to be a catchy one, and watch out if hockey doesn't work out for him. He's not really a rapper. We found out he's more into the country music this year, or this go around on the podcast, and he's also sneaky good at karaoke apparently. So we'll have to get him on for that. But yes, Ty Nelson, wonderful guest always to have on the front line. Super friend of the show. He's surpassed Adam Dennis in that regard because he basically dubbed himself that. So we'll give it to him for that way. But he's been off to a great start for the Battalion. Matt Sucrum in our roundtable to start the year said he thinks Ty Nelson could finish top 10 in league scoring, not just defensive scoring. And Ty Nelson right now, he's up there in points, and he's got 3 goals on the year already. He had 9 last year. So he was dangerous last year, but I think he's added some elements to his game. He talked about going to Seattle, doing the camps there, and he talked about how seeing how the speed of that game is, and then bringing it back here, he feels like he has an extra second or 2 here. It's almost like the game's in slow motion right now for him, and he's able to slow it down even further. And, he feels like he has extra time when he goes in the corner. And I have to say, if we see more of the way that he played against Peterborough Thursday in the one game that we've gotten to see so far, I think Battalion fans are going to be very happy with number 24.
And how much do you think it means to him that the coaching staff has that confidence to not only quarterback the power play, that first unit, but also to wear that assistant letter on his jersey?
Well, and I mean, the confidence in this unit in him has always been, I mean, he was the QB on the power play last year as well. I mean, he didn't start out that way. It was a Simon Rose and Avery Winslow kind of tandem, but Ty Nelson basically took over by mid-November. And that itself was very telling of this rookie. I mean, he was a first overall pick for a reason. The alternate thing, or captaincy we talk about, he was one of we talked about that 2020 draft, and I think their first 5 picks all wore letters, mostly C's, but all wore letters. Ty Nelson was no different in that 2020 draft. He was an alternate captain on the Toronto Junior Canadiens, and he's a very vocal kid. You could just tell last year that he oozes leadership. Even though he was a rookie on this team, technically in his second year in the OHL, because he missed the first year thanks to the pandemic. Even though he was a rookie, he hung with the big guns last year, which was the leadership group, which was Liam Arnsby, Brandon Coe, Mitch Russell, all those guys. And he hasn't looked, basically, he looks at play, or I should say in place with that A on his jersey, because he did wear it for a few games last year too.
Yes, he did. And now one of the big aspects of tonight's game is going to be specialty teams. Taking a look at the Ottawa 67s, they currently have the number 1 ranked power play.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Converting on 11 of 26 opportunities, 42.3%. We know that's not going to happen all year.
No.
But that's dangerous. You can't take penalties if you're the North Bay Battalion.
No, and that's the thing. Dave Cameron came out and basically said, when you get guys that get to pucks early and then you have guys that want to shoot, that's what helps make the power play so dangerous. And he has those guys out there who are hungry for the puck with the man advantage. And like you mentioned, they're clipping along at a percentage of 42.3%. Those are video game numbers. Those are video game numbers if you play a 20-minute period on rookie mode. Those are video game numbers. That's the wild thing about the whole numbers for the Ottawa 67s. But the good thing is the Battalion themselves they've been penalized the same amount of times as Ottawa at 27 times, but they have the 6th ranked penalty kill in the league.
Yeah, only giving up 4 goals. Ottawa a little bit better by only giving up 3 goals. So both teams really good on the PK so far this year, and able to be very aggressive on that penalty kill when they find themselves down that man. Let's turn ourselves now to looking at the starting goaltenders. A goaltender that didn't have the starting position last year for the Ottawa 67s, Max Donoso, worked his way up the ranks, overtook Cranley for that number 1 position and carried the load against the North Bay Battalion in the playoffs. He's getting the start today for the Ottawa 67s. Perfect on the season, 5-0.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like, I mean, hey, if you start the season 6-0 as a team, your goaltender's obviously doing himself a heck of a job out there, as you mentioned, 5-0. And Donoso, again, overtaking Cranley last year. Cranley was no slouch himself. He was a really good goalie for the Ottawa 67s, and now we have Donoso that we're going to have to contend with. He's definitely going to be in the back of the shooters' minds, I think, a little bit when it comes to that. But then when it comes to the Battalion, I mean, Dom DiVincentis, right? We've talked about him so much. And right now it's his net. You're not going to see much of Charlie Robertson, I don't think, because not necessarily did he not give you enough confidence in the games that he's played, but I think he's just given up a couple of goals that they want to make sure that they can, ease him in a little bit more. And Dom DiVincentis has so far shown that he is the goaltender of the present and the future for the North Bay Battalion.
Well, the Battalion have had 7 days off since that last win here.
Too, yes.
3-1 over Peterborough. Dom DiVincentis comes in with a 4-1 record, a 165 goals against average, and a 931 save percentage. He's doing an excellent job in the net for the Battalion and letting the Battalion able to kind of stay in the games and let them come out on the top end. Kind of the same story with Donoso. He didn't get much action during the regular season, but in the playoff time, he overtook Verbetic to be that number 1 guy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, a couple of people asked me, are you worried with giving the net to DiVincentis, this year after being the backup to Joe Verbetic? Well, a couple of things. Dom DiVincentis won a goals against average award last year in the OHL. The other thing, like you mentioned, he overtook Joe Verbetic. Joe Verbetic had a hiccup against the Kingston Frontenacs, and then it was Dom's net for the rest of the year, rest of the playoff run. The only time that we saw Joe again was Dom was dealing with a stomach bug a little bit in the clinching game against Kingston. Joe came in, played a great game, and now Joe's with Laval and the ECHL affiliate as well with the Habs, although he did just get called back up to Laval. So the thing about Dom is that he looked really good in that playoff series. He looked like he was the number 1 and Joe Verbetic was the number 2. It wasn't like a 1A, 1B situation. It was Dom DiVincentis is the number 1 goalie on the North Bay Battalion, and that's why I felt really confident coming into the year with him in that position.
One thing we haven't seen yet this year is a Central Division opponent, but that's going to change on Sunday when the Barrie Colts come into town. They take on the North Bay Battalion. That's going to be a 2 o'clock game, and the Frontline broadcast will have that again for you, and that's going to be the first time we get to see a Central Division team right here in this building.
Yeah, it should be exciting, especially against the Barrie Colts. I mean, what a rivalry between the two teams. North Bay themselves, getting the better hand of Barrie last year, and basically North Bay's been able to get the better of Barrie in 2 out of the 3 playoff meetings that they've had as well since coming to North Bay. It's just a great rivalry in the Central, and I would argue it's a bigger rivalry against the Colts than it is against the Sudbury Wolves.
And I honestly totally agree. Just down the highway, the Highway 11 South, just a couple hours. It's always a great rivalry to go down there. And we're looking forward. But first thing on hand before we look ahead to Sunday is tonight's game against the Ottawa 67s, who come in with a perfect 6-0 record on the season. But the North Bay Battalion currently second in the Central Division, 4-2, looking to knock off that number 1 seed Ottawa 67s.
And I think honestly that they have the chance to do so in this game. They played a really good game in general against Peterborough. Ottawa themselves, like I said, I don't think they're an unbeaten team or an unbeatable team. Just North Bay has to take what they learned last time against Ottawa, use it in this game. I think we'll see a big game from those 2 Ottawa guys in Kyle Jackson and Kyle McDonald. They always seem to put up big numbers against the 67, so it'll be fun to watch in this one.
Well, Courtney, it's been a blast on this pregame show as we are set now for tonight's matchup. On the other side of the national anthem, Matt Sukram and Courtney Kenny will have all your first period action.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
Great rendition here by, well, Canada, by many different groups. This one being young children out on the ice, and of course, you know, that's going to be the highlight of their week. You'd have to imagine getting out on the ice, ready for the Battalion game, and now they get to watch a Battalion game as they quickly get ushered off the ice, as some of them are taking their time a little bit.
I would stay out there for as long as they let me.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's been talked about on the podcast enough, but I was out there when they won the Eastern Conference title, and I didn't want to get off the ice, and that was coming as
You were out there for that?
Yeah. Just a couple
I was out there for that.
Yeah? I wasn't meant to be out there.
Oh, that's right.
I was out there.
Now I remember the story.
But I shouldn't say I was meant to be out there, but my camera died right away, and I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm going to pretend that I belong. And it was very much like one of those, like, oh, your team just won the World Series and the fans are randomly running on the stage like back in the 70s.
The band is on the field.
But here we are. So yes, as we bring in Matthew Sukram to join us with the play-by-play, we are here ready for the North Bay Battalion taking on, and I feel like it's been beaten over the head a little bit, the unbeaten Ottawa 67s. Again, it's early in the season. They're 6-0. They're first in the East. They're first in the in their division as well. So they've been a hot team off the get-go here, and North Bay looking to hand them their first loss of the year, Matt.
Well, one of those wins comes over the North Bay Battalion back on October 8th. That was a 4-1 win, but as Derek and you alluded to, the North Bay Battalion did not have Kyle McDonald in that game. They did not have Avery Winslow. They did not have Tanias Mathurin, and Charlie Robertson started that game. Guess what? Those three guys are back, and Dom DiVincentis gets the start tonight for the North Bay Battalion, going up against Max Donoso, who is undefeated as well. The puck is dropped, and we are underway for Battalion hockey on a Thursday night at Memorial Gardens as it's fired in by Mateer, the Sault Ste. Marie native. It's played in behind the net, couple of stick checks, and I guess it hit the netting, and so it will be called down right away.
It was very quick, 12 seconds into the game between the two teams, and as you mentioned, must have hit the netting up there where the players come on and off the ice down in the corner. And so we'll have a face-off here to the blocker side of Dom DiVincentis, which is the far side from the broadcast. As it looks like we're getting...
Tolnay came out there.
Yeah, he got kicked out of the face-off dot.
So Beck went in, and the Battalion win the draw, but it's sent all the way down the ice, and icing will be called. Jack Beck has tallied a point in every single game so far this season, which is great for him. He was drafted by the Calgary Flames just this past offseason, and Jack Beck, he's been a guy who has had a lot of start and stops to his OHL career so far. 1 year got completely wiped out because of COVID. I mean, everybody's did. But then last year, he only got into about 30 games or so because of an injury. And so now that he's at a point-per-game player coming into this season, let's put up the points for him, and let's stay healthy. Those are his main goals for this season. Playback underway. Tolnay going in towards DiVincentis, and it's just wide on the glove side. Check out the blocker side, and now it's going the other way. The North Bay Battalion fire it in. Erdl's shot. That gets blocked. Cleared out quickly. Avery Winslow will chase it down right behind his own blue line. Feeds it up off the stick of Erdl and controlled by the 67s deep in their own end. On the near side boards, it's flipped forward out to the neutral zone. Lukin is there for the Battalion. He gets it over to Christopoulos, who fires it through the middle of the zone. Erdl lost control, and that allows Gerrois to go in. He gets hit by Lukin, and Christopoulos will have the puck for the Battalion on the near side boards. He finds the captain, Arnsby, and he'll carry it through the neutral zone, dumping it in. Right in front of the Ottawa net, the defense steers it away. The 67s look to bring it out, but it's Lukin jumping onto the loose puck. He carries it back into his own left side circle. He's looking down the ice with a minute and a half gone, and he finds Erdl. Erdl tries to dump it in. That got blocked, and it looks like Constantini going the other way. Gets it up to Boucher, one of the players to watch tonight. He dumped it in. Christopoulos had it for North Bay. He fell down a bit, and it's a turnover into the zone. The 67s have the puck. Shot. DiVincentis makes the save.
One thing about Dom DiVincentis, and even in that game against Peterborough where they gave up a few quality chances on breakaways and whatnot, you never get a sense of worry with Dom DiVincentis in net, no matter the quality of shooter shooting the puck on net. It just seems like he's always ready. He's always, going to gobble up the puck, and just as he does on that one right there, as we see Mathurin out there for his first shift of the season.
And that is Mathurin who has the puck behind the net. Slides it down the right side boards for Sema. Drops it back into the corner for Kennedy, who plays it around on the near side boards. Mathurin trying to get it out. Battling a couple players on the near side boards. He's got Romani to help him, who feeds it over to Precision. Over to the right side of Kennedy, dumping it in to the Ottawa zone. The puck bounces off the half boards, cleared quickly by Ottawa. Coming down the right wing side is Vicenze Rohrer. Rohrer plays it to the far side boards. Kennedy is there, looking to get it out for North Bay. He finds his defensive partner, Mathurin, and Mathurin comes through the left side of the neutral zone, dumps it in. Nice bounce off the M boards, ended up right in the slot, but Sema couldn't get there for North Bay as it was taken away quickly by Ottawa. And there's a hit thrown by Christopoulos as Ottawa brings the puck back down into the North Bay zone. Puck ricocheted around the boards and is out to the neutral zone. 3 minutes into the first period. No score. North Bay have control of the puck in the zone. There's a backhanded chance at it. Donoso had to slide to his right to cover it up for the stoppage in play. A quick little backhand in the slot. 16:57 to go. It's scoreless.
Yeah, Donoso didn't really think that one was coming because it was bobbled in the slot by the Battalion a little bit, so it didn't seem like they were going to get a good shot away. And they didn't get a good shot away. It was just a weak little backhand that almost handcuffed Donoso a little bit, and that would have been a gift for the Battalion to start this one up 1-0 just over 3 minutes in on a shot like that.
Off the draw, the 67s win the puck, and they get it out to the neutral zone quickly. Sent into the North Bay end. Turnover at the side of the net. Shot comes in from a sharp angle. but deflected away by DiVincentis. On the far side boards, Tarasevic battling for it. Goes back behind the net. Now the far side, it's Winslow who finds Podolou skating through the neutral zone. Gets it knocked off his stick as he cleared the blue line. And Ottawa go the other way, dumping it in. Winslow gets up to the puck. Tries to get through the neutral zone. That's blocked by Constantini. Feeds it up at the blue line to Giroir. His shot goes wide of the net. Down to the blue line on the far side. Chipped into the half boards. Played across to the right side. Taken away by Petrov. Sends it down the ice for McDonald. Alone on the breakaway. And he lifts it too high. Petrov found McDonald just sneaking around behind the defense, and he almost got rewarded. Mathurin plays it in along the end boards. Petrov to the near side, back into the corner. McDonald. Couple of players battling there. Still in the corner. That's Petrov. Lost the puck and went around to the far side. Cleared out of the zone by Ottawa. It'll go the length of the ice. Icing called. 15:29 to go. It's scoreless.
2-1 shots on goal, as you mentioned, for the Battalion right now. Although the Battalion getting really the first really good opportunity on net in that opportunity for Kyle McDonald, which from this angle looked like he went in, but it just went high and wide of the blocker side or broadcast side of the net for Donoso. But again, Kyle McDonald looking very dangerous in his first game against Peterborough, scoring a goal, and looking dangerous again here to start this one against the 67s.
North Bay win the face-off in the offensive zone. Played in behind the net, now in front, and it's off the back of the net. Ormsby's pass goes to the corner on the far side. Tried to feed it through the slot. That got blocked by the 67s, and Boucher sends it down the ice. Quickly out of his net is DiVincentis to play it back up ahead. In the neutral zone, Rohrer steals it and plays it back to his own blue line. The 67s connect on a pass down the ice, but is broken up quickly going into the North Bay zone. And now Erno goes the other way for the Battalion. Gets it to the right side, coming in the zone, the shot just wide of the net. It was Precision looking for his first of his career.
He did score in the preseason, though.
He led the team in scoring in preseason. That's what was throwing me off there. Down on the near side, Winslow playing in behind the net. That's Precision there. Switches spots with Winslow. He carries it out in front, tries a backhand across the slot. That didn't work. Cleared out of the zone by Boucher and sent down the ice. Nelson gets to it in front of his own net, and the Battalion defenseman comes down the left wing side. Into the circle, towards the net, takes a shot from a sharp angle, and Donoso makes a save. That play showed exactly what is making the Seattle Kraken so happy about drafting Ty Nelson.
Yeah, and of course having him fall to them in the third round, when many people thought that at the beginning of the year he might go in the first or second round. I think Seattle's going to be very happy with their draft. I mean, they had a couple of guys fall. Obviously, Shane Wright to 4th overall in the draft when many thought he would go 1 or 2. And then to get Ty Nelson as well. And as we found out on this week's podcast, Ty Nelson, a big fan of and friend of Shane Wright, would like to see him stick with the Kraken. But that might not be the case. He might be back in Kingston. We're unsure.
Playback underway, 13:50 to go. There's a shot towards DiVincentis. Same made. Secondary chance stopped. And a third goes off the side of the net. And a fourth is steered away by the Battalion Defense Corps. Kept in the zone at the blue line. Trying to pinch it forward on the left side boards. That is Stonehouse. He gets it knocked off his stick and it's out to the neutral zone. Jack Beck with it. Up ahead to Tolnay. Tolnay coming in on the right side. Into the corner. He gets pushed by Nelson. And Nelson for the Battalion gets up to Van Steensel. He lets it go by him. And it's all the way into the Ottawa zone. Mateer finds Giroir. Lost it in the neutral zone. Mathurin tries to play it forward. Blocked by Giroir. Mathurin tries to get it back. Petrov finds it now. Plays it to McDonald. And McDonald dumps it into the Ottawa zone with 13 minutes remaining. Ottawa brings it out quickly. And a lot of guys just playing pitch and catch with the puck, but no one's really trying to move it forward. Now Petrov with a chance. He goes in on the left wing side. in towards the goal line, behind the net, centers it. No white shirts there, and the Barber Poles take it away. They lost it through the neutral zone. North Bay picks it up, dumps it down. Icing called with 12:35 to go.
And just one other thing on the Seattle Kraken that made me laugh is that even though it's not a bad jersey, the Seattle Kraken, of course, having to partake in the reverse retro of the NHL. Well, the thing is, the Seattle Kraken's jersey is new. They don't really have a retro jersey to go back to. But as they and Vegas both said, as Vegas in the same situation as well, they both said that they tried to make a jersey from what they think the team would have made in the 90s was the aesthetic. So, but again, the Kraken only being a year and a half old now in the NHL, but a little bit tough to, they can't really reach back into their illustrious past for a retro jersey.
Well, why not do something for like the Golden Seals?
Well, that's
that's
the Sharks.
California. Yeah, sorry, that's the California. I was thinking Seattle Pilots, right? That was an NHL team.
Way back in the day. Way back in the day.
I was thinking Seattle Golden Seals for some reason, and as I said it, I was like, nope, that's not right.
They should have just gone the Supersonics route.
There you go. That would have been cool.
They would have. Fans in Seattle, as we get a quick hand pass call here, fans in Seattle would have lost their mind over a Supersonics themed jersey. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
The amount of people that would get Durant put on the back or something? Come on. It markets itself, Seattle. I'm just saying. I mean, not that your jersey's bad. It is a nice looking jersey, so. It's not the worst reverse retro reveal of the day.
And for all of Courtney's insight, follow him on TikTok as he reviews jerseys.
I am not hip. I do not have TikTok. Maybe.
Playback underway as the Battalion, or check that the 67s dump it into the Battalion zone. At the line, the Battalion can't clear it. Shot right back in, deep into the zone. It's Lucan back there for North Bay. Picks it up on the right side boards and sends it down the ice. Chopped at it in the neutral zone was Wakely, and so it goes the length of the ice into the Ottawa zone, but they'll have to play it out. Gardner for the 67s. Up ahead. Nice move by Forster to get in on net, but it's shot wide. Play still inside the North Bay zone. It's Foster again. Centering to Gardner. His shot is blocked. It goes to the far side boards. Kept in the zone by Smythe. Into the corner. Nelson's there now for North Bay. He finds Petrov, who feeds it over to Winslow. And Winslow gets it back up ahead to Nelson. Nelson on the right side finds Ramadi going in. Cross to the left side. Sima cannot bury it on the open net. He didn't have a lot of room to work with. He did get a piece of it, though, but just could not steer that one over the blue paint. 10:40 remaining in the first period. No score. Picked up by Mathurin. Pass up to the Ottawa blue line. It's picked up by the 67s, though. And it's Jack Beck who turns and goes down the ice, dumping it in on the right side. Chasing is Stonehouse. He gets beat to the puck by Mathurin, but the Battalion defenseman can't hold it there. Knocked off some skates out in front of the net and to the near side boards. Van Steensel clears it up to the line. That's Tarasevic who has it. He dumps it in off the left side glass and played in behind the net. Pottoloo's pass into the corner is picked off by Beck. Now he's held there by Van Steensel. Couple of guys in the area with 9:50 to play in the period. It's kicked down in the near side boards and now sent around to the far side. Chasing this, Kennedy takes a hard hit, but an accurate shot as he got smashed into the glass. The puck just going wide of the net, and it's down into the neutral zone. There's Kyle Jackson, who's coming back into the Ottawa end. His slap shot is gloved down by Donoso, and he'll hold on to it for a save. 9:36 to go. We'll take a break.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news or access the alumni job portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
And you mentioned Dallin Wakely there, and I would be remiss if I didn't say that the Wakely family is in our thoughts right now as they are going through just a bit of a tough time. We just wanted to reach out and send our thoughts to you guys during this time if you were here listening. And of course, with Wakely out on the ice, hope to see him pot a couple of goals here soon. He's looked dangerous at times, and He had himself a heck of a rookie season, and once again, going home to Peterborough, he always seems to find a way to score and get one in the back of the net every time they play in Peterborough, and that's what he did a couple of weeks ago. So, you see the Wakely jersey, it travels well, as there's always at least one here as a member of the family is always here wearing that number 14. And again, just our thoughts going to the Wakely family during this time.
Wakely, a goal and 2 assists on the season in his second year with the team. And when people talk to me about the Battalion out in the community, that's one name that gets brought up a lot, and they go, I can't believe that kid wasn't drafted. So, but all he has to do is look to one of his leaders in Kyle Jackson on the ice, and he's a guy that got passed over in his first year of eligibility. And now, Kyle Jackson, a member of the Seattle Kraken. So we just keep plugging away. And here's Petrov plugging away into the zone. Finds McDonald. McDonald sends it back to Petrov in the corner. Now McDonald behind the net. His pass comes through everybody, and it's sent down the ice. DiVincentis sends it all the way back down, but the Battalion goaltender tried to find Petrov, but he could not bring the puck down under control, and so that allows Ottawa to move through the neutral zone with it. That's Meyer, or check that, Metier. I'll get it eventually, folks. It's in the North Bay zone. Lucan has it. 8:35 to go as Lucan plays it to the right side to Nelson. Sending it down to Wakely. Wakely over the blue line, trying to pass it into the middle. Knocked off his skate, and Stonehouse goes the other way. Knocked off his stick. Ernl has it for the Battalion. He's knocked down from behind, and the puck clears the zone. Lucan will catch it. Plays it back behind his own blue line to Christopoulos. Christopoulos sending it down the left wing. The Battalion get knocked off the puck in the neutral zone, and now they get it right back as Arnsby picks it up. He finds Wakely, who dumps it in. Along the M boards, Ernl's back there for North Bay, and Wakely centering pass as Precision came flying off the bench into the attacking zone, but could not get a shot off. And now there's going to be a penalty coming up against the North Bay Battalion. Delayed call here with 7:45 to play. Gardner with it in the neutral zone for the 67s. Coming down the right wing side now is Gerwa. He gets knocked in the boards. North Bay touches the puck, and it's holding against, slashing against the troops.
It's Justin Ertl going to the box for the Battalion. And you don't like to see that. As we mentioned in the pregame, you don't want to give Ottawa penalties or power play opportunities. They're 11 for 26 on the season. And that's best in the league at 42.3%, which is monster numbers. Of course, that's going to come back down to earth at some point. You know, you usually see it around the mid-20s or like low 30s. 42%. Wow, I'd take that right now. The Battalion on the penalty kill, they've only allowed 4 goals on 27 attempts, and they're clipping at 85.2%. Good for 6th in the league.
And the 67s were 4 for 4 on Sunday against the Guelph Storm.
That's going to help your numbers a little bit.
The Battalion went, I believe, 0 for 1. 0 for 3, on the power play on their game last Thursday against the Pete. So, penalty underway here. Muse has it to the left side point. That's Constantini. He skates to the right side, flips it back to the left side for Boucher. Boucher to the right side, in the middle. Tone right in front, and they score. It is Brad Gardner bearing that one on the doorstep, and the power play for the 67s continues to be perfect. It's 1-0 Ottawa.
Well, we talk about it, and we just talked about it. You can't give these 67s scoring opportunities or man advantage opportunities, and that's exactly what the Battalion did on a interference call against slashing call, for Justin Ertl. And of course, right alone in the slot, and there's not much that Dom DiVincentis can do about that, which is really unfortunate because for the first bit of this period, it's been back and forth, but I think the Battalion outnumber the 67s, create A scoring chances so far.
5 shots to 3 in favor of the North Bay Battalion. So with 5 guys back out there now, Let's see if the Battalion can get back onto the attack here. McDonald has it. Plays it to the left side. Now it's up to Petrov in the neutral zone. His pass gets knocked away. And it's Stonehouse dumping it in for Ottawa. 6:30 to go in the first period. 1-0 Ottawa. Jackson feeds it over the blue line. And the overager Jackson now called for a delayed offside, so doesn't touch the puck going into the zone. And that allows Ottawa to bring it out. Pinelli dumps it in. North Bay dump it back out, but it's going to be an icing call against the North Bay Battalion.
And how many icing calls has that been going against the Battalion so far in this game, Matt? I mean, it just seems like almost every second or third shift, the Battalion are just sending the puck down the ice, and we have an icing call on our hands and another defensive zone face-off for the troops.
I think right now it's just that feeling out process, but the Ottawa 67s are playing really good in the neutral zone and not giving the Battalion much room to work with. We'll see what they can do here as it's dumped all the way down the ice. No icing this time with 6 minutes to go, but it's Ottawa who bring the puck forward again. Dumped down, pass right in front of the net, off the end boards, and it's buried past DiVincentis. Tyler Boucher with the goal, his 5th already this season, and the Ottawa Senators draft pick makes it 2-0 for the 67s.
Well, the Battalion get a bit of a taste of their own medicine after last year. They used that end plate a lot for it to come back out, and that's exactly what happened, and DiVincentis just missed it on the poke check trying to get it out and knock it away. And yet here we are with a 2-0 game. And I think at this point, Bob Coles, who's taken over on the public address, should just stop talking, because every time he talks, Ottawa scores a goal.
Well,
I'm not a superstitious person, but
DiVincentis went to play the puck.
yeah.
And like you said, he kind of fans on the poke check. And Boucher just had the speed coming in, picked up the puck off the end boards, and into the net you go. 5 goals through his first 5 games of the season now for Boucher, as that one comes in and it's gloved down by DiVincentis. And you know, you mentioned about Ty Nelson dropping to the 3rd round. I don't know how many people picked Ty Boucher to be a first-round pick, let alone a top 10 pick, but because after, you know, his numbers last year didn't set the world on fire. However, this year, that is a different story. Up to 7 points now for Boucher.
Yeah, and he's our player to watch for the 67s after being taken 10th overall in the 2020 draft, I believe is the year that he went. And he, again, if you're the Senators, I don't think you're super ecstatic with his development to this point, but he has looked really good this year so far.
2021 was when he was drafted in the first round, 10th overall by the Senators, so right under the watchful eye of the big league club in their backyard. 5:15 to play. North Bay back on control, or in control of the puck in the Ottawa zone. Ernl had it. He flips it up over the glass and out of play with 5:11 to go. And all of a sudden, now they're down 2-0. They're being outshot 6-5. The Battalion have won 8 of the 13 faceoffs, but the troops are facing that 2-goal deficit right now.
And of course, I mean, it's early, but the troops are 3-0 when they score the first goal of the game, but they're 1-2 when the opposing team scores first. So their 2 losses on the year have come when the other team scores first, let alone
Shot
2 goals.
Right off the face-off, save made by Donoso, who comes in the game 5th in goals against average in the league with a 2.56 GAA. Here come the troops now. It's Nelson dumping the puck in. Ricochet around the boards to the far side. McDonald's right there. It's in the corner. Jackson's battling for it for North Bay. Sent down to the blue line. That's Winslow. Turns and fires it towards the end boards. Petrov goes back there to get it. Flips it over to Jackson. Jackson tries to play it in front. It goes off his skate. But now it's into the corner. Petrov trying to battle for it there. Taken away quickly by Mayich, I believe. And it goes to the far side. And it comes out to the neutral zone. That is where it's picked up by Giroux. Giroux goes into the zone, plays it in front, quick breakaway chance, and it's a save made by DiVincentis. Foster just got in behind the last 2 guys, maybe about 5 feet of space, maybe less, but still got off a decent scoring chance on DiVincentis there.
And that's a save DiVincentis needs to make in that situation.
Now the Battalion on the counterattack. Arnsby up ahead, but he can't get a shot off. Getting the pass from Wakely. Now Arnsby in along the goal line. Feeds it down on the right side. Shot comes in from Kennedy. And the save is made by Donoso. Kennedy out there with Mathurin. So we talked about last week who's going to be the odd guy out on the defense. Right now it's Cam Govro, but you figure he'll get into the mix a lot as well with guys like Kennedy and Lucan.
Yeah, and Govro kind of started the year as the 7th defenseman last year and worked his way into the lineup with injuries and whatnot. And then it got to the point where they couldn't take him out of the lineup. And we'll have to see if he has that kind of bit of gumption this year as well.
Here come the 67s off the defensive zone face-off win. They go 2-on-2 into the zone, get a shot, but DiVincentis makes a save. Fired out now from the neutral zone. It's fired right back in, but it's off the glass, over the glass, and out of play with 3:36 to go in the first period. 2-1 is the score for the, 2-0 is the score for the Ottawa 67s. And another couple of guys that want to get some ice time. It's going to be hard for them, but, guys like Turley and Terrien, who were taken just this past year in the draft, they gotta figure to get in some ice time as well at some point.
Well, the Powassan Voodoos currently have a spot for a 16-year-old player as well. So maybe we see one of those guys play for the Voodoos at one point, or Mike McIver if he gets called up from the AAA Trappers as well. But yeah, they're looking to get some ice time here with the big club. But again, you get ice time with the Voodoos, that's a good consolation prize.
Terrien has played in 4 games so far this season for the North Bay Battalion. It's the Troops breaking the puck out of their own zone. It's Christopoulos who dumps it in. Played behind the net by the goaltender Donoso for the 67s. He's 10th when it comes to save percentage in the league at .905. Played back into the North Bay zone and cleared up to the North Bay blue line. Van Steensel goes to Tarasevic into the zone of Van Steensel, and he sends it just wide, but he's drawn a power play for his Troops here with 2:28 to go. That play came out of nowhere by those two, with Van Steensel and Tarasevic going down the ice it was a 2-on-2, but they use their speed to make it a 2-on-1, and Van Steensel gets hauled down on the ice, and he will put the Battalion up 5-on-4.
Yeah, when Van Steensel last year, he started slow as well as a rookie, but really turned it on down the stretch for the Troops after January, playing on that second line a lot, and that's exactly why you see the opportunities that he creates and what he does for the Battalion. And he's very fast, very skillsy as well, and of course drawing a penalty, so now the North Bay has an opportunity to respond here with the man advantage.
Nelson to the right side, McDonald to the left side, trying to get to Jackson in the middle, fed back to McDonald, now to Nelson to the left side, that is Petrov in the middle, down the left side circle, Jackson fires it through the slot, nobody there, off the boards, it's McDonald working into the circle, to the middle, Jackson can't handle the pass, and the puck gets knocked off his stick and out to the neutral zone, pass up ahead, 1-on-1, Stonehouse gets knocked off the play by Jackson on the back check. Over the blue line, the Battalion back in control into the attacking zone, behind the net. Maytier's there, he clears it, and now it's 2-on-0 the other way for the 67s. The shot wide of the net. Now North Bay tries to pick it up and go the other way. Down the ice is Nelson. Nelson in on the left wing side, going into the corner. Plays it back to the half boards to Petrov. Petrov under the circle, trying to work back down low. He goes up high, tries to feed it across his own. Nobody on that side. And now the 67s bring it back down the other way. That is Rower, who gets the puck up to the blue line, fires it all the way back into his own zone, and now it comes back all the way to the other side. North Bay, with 35 seconds remaining on their power play, their first of the game. Up to Arnsby, over the blue line. Arnsby in the middle, looking for control. The Battalion can't get it. 1 minute to go in the period, 25 seconds to go on the power play. Wakely gets it to Erdl. It's knocked off his stick. Sent up ahead to Potaloo. Potaloo can't hold it, and it's sent right back to DiVincentis in the North Bay zone. They've got 10 seconds remaining on their power play. Winslow bringing it forward down the right wing side. Over the blue line, sends it in off the end boards. It's picked up back there by the 67th, but they can't clear it. Out of the box is Tolnay. And we're back to 5-on-5 with 25 seconds remaining in the period. Sent down the ice, icing called against Ottawa. And so North Bay will get the offensive zone face-off. They looked really good in the first 30 seconds or so, but weren't able to build on that in that power play.
Honestly, the 67s, I have to give them credit. They had a really good penalty kill on that one. But I have to say that's quite possibly one of the worst minute and a half on the power play I've ever seen the North Bay Battalion play in a long, long time, Matt. You have to go back to pre-COVID days for us to talk about how bad of a look on the power play that looked.
Face-off won by the 67s in their own zone. It's on the stick of Muse. He gets it out to Tolnay, and Tolnay dumps it down with 10 seconds to go. Christopoulos for the Battalion into the corner. Feeds it along the end boards. It comes out in front, but Jackson's there. Jackson turns it over and then gets it back at the hash marks. Clears it to the neutral zone, and time runs out. It is 2-0 for the Ottawa 67s over the North Bay Battalion. Goals from Gardner and Boucher in that period.
Yeah, a bit of a quick... the Battalion started out really well in that period, and then it just feels like once they got that first goal against, they kind of deflated in on themselves, and hopefully they can rebound here in the second period, Matt.
All right, well, we're going to take a break, and then Derek, Sam, and Lyndon will have your first period intermission. Stay tuned for that.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And welcome back inside Memorial Gardens, where after 20 minutes of play, the North Bay Battalion find themselves trailing by a score 2-0. I'm Derek Lindemann, and welcome to the first intermission. Let's take a quick rundown of the first period scoring summary as the Ottawa 67 scoring both goals. Getting on the board first at the 13:02 mark on the power play was Brett Gardner, his fifth goal this season, assisted by Henry Muse and Cameron Tonali, before just seconds later at 14:08, Tyler Boucher off a bounce off the end boards gave them a 2-0 lead. Gavin Uwels and Vince Rohrer picking up the assist on that goal. Two penalties, one to each team in that first period of play, as Justin Ertl went off for slashing at 12:24. and Cameron Tonali went off for hooking at the 17:32 mark. Taking a look at the shots on goal in that first period of play, Ottawa 67s outshooting the Battalion by a shot count of 8-7. Ottawa 67s 1-for-1 on the power play, and the Battalion were held off the board in their only chance. But the Battalion held the edge in the face-off dot, winning 13 of 20 face-offs. 3 other games going on in the OHL this evening, as the Erie Otters are up 1-0 on the Niagara Ice Dogs after 1 period of play. In Peterborough, the Petes find themselves trailing to the Kingston Frontenacs 1-0. That's late in the first period. And also late in the first period, the Windsor Spitfires and the Saginaw Spirit are scoreless through 1 period of play. Taking a look in the NOJHL, as the Powassan Voodoos are in Sudbury taking on the Greater Sudbury Cubs. After 20 minutes of play there, the Greater Sudbury Cubs have a 1-0 lead on the Powassan Voodoos. Taking a look at the MLB playoffs, just getting underway, are the Yankees and the Astros. That is scoreless mid-first. And a little bit later, the Thursday night football game will kick off as the Arizona Cardinals host the New Orleans Saints. In the NHL, late in the first period of play, the Dallas Stars lead the Maple Leafs by a score of 1-0. The Predators have a 2-0 lead on the Columbus Blue Jackets. That's late in the first. Also, the Capitals lead the Senators by a score of 2-0. After 1 period of play, the Montreal Canadiens are beating the Arizona Coyotes 3-0. Ben Long shaking his head after that one. The Sharks have a 1-0 lead over the Rangers also after 1. The Pittsburgh Penguins are leading the LA Kings 3-0. That's through 20 minutes of play. Late in the first, the Ducks and Bruins are scoreless, and also the Devils and Islanders are scoreless. And a little bit later, 4 games will get underway, as the Canucks are in Minnesota to take on the Wild. The Hurricanes are in Edmonton to take on the Oilers. Calgary will host Buffalo, and the late game, the Vegas Golden Knights take on the Winnipeg Jets. While it was a busy first weekend of hockey here for the Frontline broadcast group, and earlier this week they got together and sat down at a round table and they talked about the North Bay Battalion, the Powassan Voodoos, and even the North Bay U18 Trappers. Let's hear that conversation now.
They're going to be a tough team to beat, especially once Mathern comes back. He was not on the bench. He was not dressed, though, for the game that we saw. Yeah. I think he's going to be one of the better shutdown defensemen in the league. And to be without him and still put up a solid defensive effort, I think that's only going to make it better. I think.
And they've been without him all season, right? He hasn't played yet. Like I said, McDonald and Avery Winslow were getting into their first games in that Peterborough contest. So the fact that they went 3-2 on a 5-game road trip, and it was a tough 5-game road trip, games back to back against the Sioux in the Sioux on back-to-back nights. To get out of there with the one win is, I think, sometimes it's best case scenario. The Sioux is always a tough team, and they're going to be a good team again this year. So to get out of that with the 2 points was great. And then you got to go through a swing where you do Peterborough, Kingston, and Ottawa, and those are 3 good teams this year. Peterborough's sitting at 4-2 right now. Kingston's at 4-1. Ottawa hasn't been defeated yet as they head into the Gardens at 6-0. So to get 4 points out of that road trip as well, that's awesome. That's a great start to the season. And then to come back home and beat Peterborough in front of your home crowd. Yeah, I think sitting at 4-2, I think if you're the Battalion staff, you're pretty happy with that outcome for sure. I think that there was some concern, at least from me looking at historically, every time Peterborough, it seems like every time Peterborough comes in to play a home opener against the Battalion, it just feels like a flat game, and Peterborough gets out of there with 2 points, but not this time around. I mean, the Battalion came out flying, and yeah, it was really good. And I think one of the interesting turning points almost of the game was when Guriev grabbed Arnsby's jersey from behind, and then I did like the write-up on Battalion.com that said Guriev got assessed the penalty for doing this, and Arnsby also got a major for defending himself. I thought that was because it's true. That's what good. He was doing.
Yeah.
And we even said on the broadcast
now
that I don't think that he should have gotten a penalty for that. Sorry, man.
I mean, he defended himself well, and he ended up on top, and he didn't let up well once he got on top, and there was 2 refs, and he was still going. So, I mean, I think he earned that penalty, but
yeah, but I mean,
you can't blame him. Like,
do you expect anything less from Liam Arnsby, though?
That's true.
Oh, I definitely do not. But I think he earned that penalty, and I think that's just his nature. Like, one of the things we talked about is his passion in his playing.
Yep.
Yeah, like that's just going to be a thing that you get, and you accept those penalties as part of having him on your team, right?
So, and also to illustrate your point, Matt, when you went through the records, like Peterborough 4-2, Kingston, 5-1, like who have those losses come to for those 2 teams?
The
right?
Battalion, that's right.
Yeah, all 3 of those, the 2 losses to Peterborough, the 1 loss for Kingston, the Battalion won all those games. The only team, again, they've lost to on this, out of the 3 you mentioned, is Ottawa, who's coming in here on Thursday. So the 67s, I think they're taking a lot of people by surprise right now through the year. I mean, it is early, but they have a good program there in Ottawa. They always seem to, the last few years, ice really competitive teams. And so, I mean, I think we would be remiss if we didn't kind of preview that game a little bit. So as you mentioned, Ottawa's coming in undefeated and looking or a lot different than the team that the Battalion, albeit I keep saying this, the Battalion swept them in the playoffs last year, but it was a closer 4-game sweep than the just looking at it and saying, oh, it's a sweep. It was a closer series than that.
It was. And the 67s come in with a number of guys that are already NHL draft picks. The Sioux Zone, Jack Major, 4th round pick from Nashville. You've got Jack Beck, that's a Calgary draft pick, 6th round. Rower, Montreal guy for you, Ben, 3rd round pick, and he had a highlight reel goal. I don't know if you saw it from that game that they beat the Guelph Storm in 6-3. He took the puck and went coast to coast, but he had a guy kind of on his tail in the neutral zone, and just at the last second at the blue line just burst a speed by and came in and dragged it and put it past the Guelph Storm goalie. And it was like, okay, I understand why this guy got picked in the 3rd round. Like, I mean, he was impressive last year too, but yeah, this team is off to a really good start. Special teams is going to be huge, I think, going into this game. Ottawa has the best power play in the league right now, and their penalty kill is 5th, and North Bay's penalty kill is 6th. So, I think this one really could come down to the special teams. Ottawa went 4 for 4 in the game against Guelph. So, I wonder how much of an emphasis the Battalion put on practice on the penalty kill when you're going up against a team like this, especially in a week where you've got, you had a whole week off after the game against Peterborough, and then you host Ottawa on the Thursday, and then you have 2 days off before Barrie comes in on the Sunday. I think it gives you a lot of time to game plan and prep specifically for those 2 teams.
And what a great job by the front cast crew there. That was Matt Sukram, Ben Long, and Courtney Kenny discussing all of local hockey there at the at the round table. Just before we continue on with the first intermission, I want to just give a big shout out to Jack Hennigan, who is making his debut here as an OHL referee right here in Memorial Gardens. He's a local boy. Recognize him quite often from reffing in the OUA and also in the NOJHL, so congratulations. He's the only local North Bay product that will be wearing the armbands this year in the OHL. There's a few linesmen, but no referees. And at this time, I want to welcome in Sam Boyven and Lyndon Holkamp for the rest of this first intermission. Well, gentlemen, welcome to the Frontline broadcast. just Lyndon, start with you. What's your thoughts of watching the game from up here in the broadcast area?
A little different than watching it in the seats, for sure. That's gives you a different vantage point of the game from up here.
And Sam, what about yourself watching from way up here?
Yeah, I haven't been to many Battalion games, so it's a little bit strange being up in the booth, but definitely better than being in the seats. Fans.
And with you being a local boy, I noticed you were saying that you went to school with a couple of the players out there. How is it like watching them up here?
It's weird because I have a project with some of them, so thank you. Yeah, I got projects with them in class, and it's just weird being here and watching them play. And then tomorrow I know I'm going to go to school and see them and maybe talk about the game a little bit with them.
So I gave you both an assignment in the first period. Sam, you got to watch the North Bay Battalion a little more closely. Lyndon, the Ottawa 67s. You got the better score result. How important was that first goal on the power play for the Ottawa 67s?
Oh, yeah, that first goal was a big one for them. They came out a little shaky at the beginning. Their power play's been very good so far this year, so to get a little bump from a really nice power play goal, getting the passing going, helps the rest of the game.
And then just under a minute later, they get another goal, and who scores it other than the player of the watch, Tyler Boucher? That kickoff of that end plate, is that something you plan for, or is that something just out of luck?
Well, by the way they tried it a couple of times there, it looks like it might be something they're practicing, but you still got to get that lucky bounce off the end.
And Sam, just a couple quick words. The Battalion got a couple great scoring opportunities early. What can you take forward into the second period?
Well, I think the thing is don't panic, because you've had great scoring chances. So you just got to convert. If you convert on those chances, the game's way closer than it actually is. So it's a 2-0 lead, but this game could easily be 1-1, 1-0, 2-1.
Well, guys, it was interesting to catch up to you. We'll catch up more with you in the second intermission, but right after this commercial break, we'll have Matt Sukram and Courtney Kenny with all your second period action.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
And we are back underway here in the second period of the North Bay Battalion and Ottawa 67s. The 67s currently have a 2-0 lead. And quickly, here's Matt with the call.
Thanks, Courtney. We're back underway. It's inside the Ottawa zone. North Bay up high on the forecheck, trying to control the puck. It's McDonald with it, plays it back up high, now across to the near side of Nelson. He takes a shot, save made by Donoso, who holds on to it. 19-24 to go in the second period. It's 2-0 for the Ottawa 67s. And really, the North Bay Battalion have got to come in and have to maintain that consistency over this entire period, Courtney.
Yeah, I mean, that's 36 seconds where the Battalion controlled the pace of play throughout that beginning part in that first shift here. Hopefully they can keep that going as we get the second line out there with Arnsby. And again, as you mentioned, keeping that consistency up and that compete level up as well. And there's a hockey term, compete level.
And the next whistle, we'll talk about what Ryan Olahan had to say about the troops coming into this week, and a bit of, you want them to see a little bit more of the message that he's preaching as Steven Chentis makes the save there. So he said, we should be fresh. We haven't played in a week. Well, the 67s have come in and kind of erased that little note, haven't they?
They have, and that's kind of one of the things that I don't like about sports. I remember, I hate to equate this to baseball, but baseball, if you're running really smoothly, you've won a few games and you have an off day, usually you come out and that first game after that off day is really tough for you because, baseball's such a rhythm sport. Well, so is hockey. Even though you're not playing every day, having a week off can sometimes be detrimental to a team, and we've seen it in the playoffs where teams have to wait a while sometimes as there's a quick shot just missing the net. In this case, it might have hurt the Battalion a little bit to have that week off, no Sunday game. Yes, you're rested, but they didn't look like the same team in that first period as they did against Peterborough.
The Battalion have scored 13 goals over the last 5 played. They've allowed 15 in that stretch. So being outscored, but you're 3-2 in your last 5 games played. But they are being shut out right now as they win the draw and they get it down the ice. It's Van Steensel who plays it back to Kennedy, fires it in off the blocker of Donoso to the far side boards and picked up by the 67s. It's Foster who carries it out and dumps it in. Offside, I believe the call there. It got stopped right at the line. I thought Foster carried that in, but it must have. Well, it was right against the glass here, right below us, and that's the one disadvantage of being in this rink is you're kind of on like a 75-degree angle as opposed to being right at like 85, 90 over the ice.
Like in Sudbury or Hamilton.
Yeah. I always said, even when they first did the renovations before the Battalions came here, I said, why don't they just renovate the box across the rink there and turn that into the media booth? But nobody listens to, well, I was just a radio guy at the time, so.
And nobody still listens to you.
Here's Tolne. I was going to mention that. Bringing it down the ice. It's deflected in front of the net. And Steven Chentis makes the save. And now some pushing and shoving going on after the whistle. And you got to wonder, who does this rough stuff favor? Is it the Battalion who want to get into a shoving match and try to, invigorate themselves? Or is Ottawa happy to try and play that style and try to knock the Battalion off their game?
Well, as we saw in the first period, the Battalion are going to have to want to rebound on their power play opportunities. They didn't have a very good power play opportunity in that first period, whereas Ottawa converted on their power play. So I think you play the rough game, Ottawa's going to benefit as of right now.
18-17 to go in the second period. Ottawa up 2-0. Dumped right back in after North Bay clears it. Nelson with it, and we will hear from Ty Nelson in our second period intermission. He had a chance to catch up with Courtney and Ben on the Frontline podcast, which you can download wherever you get your favorite podcasts now. Listen, share, and subscribe. 17:50 to go as the 67s move it back down the ice. They got a breakaway chance, and Steven Chentis makes the save. Mayich at the line, sends it back in behind the goal line. It ricocheted around the boards and came out. Ottawa has done that a couple of times in this game now, where they have had some late breaks into the zone, and that last guy has snuck around and gotten right in behind the defense. So the Battalion will want to clear that up with 17:20 to go in the period. 2-0 Ottawa lead as Nelson gets to the puck on the far side boards. Up ahead to Wakely in the neutral zone. Wakely to left side Erdl, tried to feed it back up ahead to Wakely, but the pass is picked off, and now it's Stonehouse going the other way. Stonehouse dumps it in. DiVincentis plays it around the boards to the far side to Erdl. Erdl can't clear. 67s. Beck has a chance to left side of Tolnay, who was wide open but couldn't get a shot off. In the corner, Tolnay battling there for the 67s. Knocked off his stick by Christopoulos. Gets it up to Arnsby, who finds Wakely. Gets it up over the line. No, Erdl just a step ahead, according to the pinstripes set up at the line. So 16:40 to play in the second period. 2-0 Ottawa lead.
And I must say right now, as he stands at center ice, looking for the line change, we talk a lot about rookies on this, and making your OHL debut. I gotta give a hand here to one of my teammates on the Fall League baseball, Jack Hennigan, who's making his OHL debut as an official, as a referee. So good for him. We've had him. We've talked about him a little bit on some of the other broadcasts. He's been around the Trappers, he's been around the Voodoos, but here he is officiating his first OHL game this evening.
That's excellent to see. No doubt. Dumped into the North Bay zone, picked up quickly by the Battalion, and sent up ahead to Tarasevic. Plays it across to Van Steensel, who deflects it into the zone. Far side corner, Tarasevic is held there. Gets it behind the net to Podolou. Podolou walking into the near side circle. Now goes back to the corner. Turns back, looking to feed it to the blue line to Kennedy. Kennedy had a stab at it, but Smythe gets it away from him. North Bay plays it right back in the zone. Tarasevic comes in. Passes to Van Steensel. Shot just wide of the net. Played on the near side boards. Kelly gets it out. Into the neutral zone. It's picked up on the far side by Petrov of the Battalion. He tracks it back all the way into his own zone. 15:40 to go in this 2-0 Ottawa lead in the second period, as Petrov fights Kennedy. Gets it up ahead to McDonald, trying to find Jackson, but it's knocked away from him. Now it's Smythe with the puck for the 67s. Up ahead to Gardner. To the left side, Foster coming in. Foster puts it on net. Turned aside by DiVincentis. Petrov, quick pass to McDonald, going the other way for North Bay. McDonald over the blue line, into the half boards. Tries to play it to the middle. It's broken up, and the 67s go the other way. They lead 2-0. They got two guys in the zone, but quickly taken off the puck by Nelson, who clears it out to the neutral zone. Matier from his own blue line gets it up ahead to Foster. Foster with the 67s dumps it in with 15 minutes to play in this second period. In behind the nets, Nelson, who picks it up for North Bay. He feeds it down the right wing for McDonald. Cross zone pass. North Bay come in the zone, but they go offside. Chopped at the blue line by the 67s, and that delayed the puck's entry into the zone, and the Battalion went ahead of it, and they get called offside.
Man, I wouldn't want the life of a linesman, because those calls are sometimes so close. I mean, obviously there's the usual suspects that, I call the Matt Duchesne offsides, where you're 10 feet into the zone, and those ones are obvious all day long. But one like that, where I'm standing up here, oh man, that's a tough call to make. And especially when you're sitting there maybe watching the puck, as we get a quick whistle off the draw here as Arnsby was taken to the ice. And it looks like he's going to the penalty box now.
And this will be the second power play of the game for the Ottawa 67s, who are 5 for their last 5, with a 4-for-4 performance on Sunday against Guelph at home in Ottawa, and with the 1 goal tonight coming from Brad Gardner, his 5th of the season. That coming at 13:02, and then just over a minute later at 14:08, Tyler Boucher scored. And that's how we reach our 2-0 lead. But you're right, Arnsby in the box, and the Battalion come in. At home, they are the number 1 ranked penalty kill coming into this game, although they were only shorthanded 2 times. Remember, they've only played the 1 home game. Overall, 6th in the league, 85.20% coming into this game.
Just trying to figure out what's going on with the penalty here as we start to get a bit of an announcement, but turns out now we're going to get the officials skating over to the Battalion bench to explain what's going on. But all we know for sure is that Arnsby's in the box.
And here's the thing, Dave Cameron pointed it out after Sunday's win over Guelph, that the biggest thing on the power play is puck retrievals. When you have that and you have guys who can shoot the puck, it's a good recipe for a successful power play. So they did that very quickly on their first power play here tonight. We'll see if the Battalion can interrupt them retrieving the pucks here on this penalty kill. Off the draw, it's sent to the near side line. It's Beck who gets it. Over to the center, it's Matier. Down the right side, back to Matier. One-time shot kicked away by DiVincentis. Beck chops at it on the half boards. Ottawa can't get the puck back there, and it's sent down the ice. 14:30 to play in the second period. It's a 2-0 lead for Ottawa. Ottawa bring it back down into the North Bay zone. Play in behind the net. Nelson is back there. Stonehouse takes it away from him. Feeding it down to Beck. Beck across the middle. Stonehouse is there. Takes a shot off the pads of DiVincentis and cleared. 1:10 to go in the power play for the Ottawa 67s. They lead 2-0. 13:50 to play in the period. Tolnay with it at his own blue line, and now he goes even further back into his own zone as he's pressured by Van Steensel. Now he gets it up ahead to Boucher on the left side, coming down the left wing. Played in behind the net, ricocheted off the boards. Picked up by Tarasevich, and he goes the other way. Tarasevich one-on-one in the zone. Pass Constantini, backhanded shot. Goes off the side of the net. Tarasevich with a burst of speed going into the zone. Tolnay in the middle. Over the blue line, dumps it into the zone. Tolnay into the corner. Lukin is there, holding the puck and shielding it. Wakely now tries to get it out. Stopped by Boucher. Pass across to the right side. Now Constantini at the blue line. Holding it there. Back down the right side for Muse. Muse tries to play it in the middle to Tolnay. Knocked away from his stick, but the North Bay Battalion can't clear. It's Boucher on the left side circle. His shot blocked. He gets the puck back to the right side. Pass across to the left side. The shot at the side of the net is up and over the glass and out of play. 1 second remaining in the penalty to Arnsby. It's a 2-0 lead for Ottawa with 12:51 to go in the second.
So barring a quick goal off the face-off, it looks like Ottawa's streak of 5 for 5 is going to end on this one, as the Battalion doing a good job of killing off this one, getting the puck down the ice a lot. And what can we say about Ethan Procession being out there as a rookie, killing this penalty? What does it speak to the trust that the Battalion have in him to be out there killing this penalty as he was for a little bit on that one, especially against a team like Ottawa?
Well, when you're the first round draft pick, you could probably expect to get into some of these situations, and the Battalion looked really good out there on that penalty kill, which is now officially over, but they still got to clear the puck here, and they do off the draw as Jackson gets it out. Smythe fires it right back in. DiVincentis leaves it behind the net for Nelson. Nelson picks it up and races down the right wing side. Cross zone pass to Petrov into the Ottawa end. He sends it across to the near side. It's out of the reach of Romani, and Winslow will get it back in the neutral zone. Dumps it right back in. It's off the end boards towards the goaltender Donoso, who covers it up as he came out of the net on his blocker side. 2-0 lead for the 67s. 12:21 to go in the second.
Another thing about the Battalion is they seem to be a bit of a slow starter here at home, as the last game they didn't score a goal in the first period, but here they are again almost halfway through the game without a goal once again here in this one, as they have 10 shots on net, 13 in favor of the 67s, and a 2-0 lead as well.
The way the game going is reminiscent of the 2019-20 season, actually, when, and we'll finish that in a second. Here's Nelson firing it in off the end boards. It goes to the far side. Winslow tries to chop at it on the boards, but it's knocked off some skates, and it's carried out by Gerrois. Coming in on the right wing side in a battle with Winslow. He carries it into the corner, and he's holding it there, looking for some support. 12 minutes to go in the period. 2-0 Ottawa lead. They get the puck free. Tolnay sends it to the point. Cross to the near side. Shot comes in. That was from Thomas Sermon. And then it's blocked, and it's out of the zone and sent down the ice. 2019-20 season, the Battalion, they would give up a couple of goals really quickly, and then that would be the dagger, right?
Yep.
And it's similar in this game. They gave up 2 goals really quickly, but they've been playing good outside of that succession. Shot blocked by Van Steensel. He's going very slowly to the North Bay bench. And the Ottawa 67s bring the puck back into the zone. Stonehouse to Beck in front of the net. He turns around. His pass goes to nobody. But off the boards, Tolnay gets it. His pass is blocked as well. Sent down the ice by the Battalion. Icing waved off as Muse gets to the puck. He leaves it for Sermon behind the net with 11 minutes to play in the period. 2-0 lead for the Battalion as Ottawa tries to get it out down the right wing side. Now they'll try the middle. And now on the left side, Sermon gets it. And he sends it down the ice. In behind the net. It's picked up by Mathurin. He finds Kennedy, who sends it through the neutral zone to Arnsby. Up ahead to Erdl. Erdl kicks it ahead. Mathurin back in front of the net to Erdl, but he can't get the shot off. He was covered pretty well by the last defenseman back in Constantini. Ottawa goes the other way. And offside is the call going into the zone. 10:28 to play in the second. 2-0 lead for Ottawa.
The Battalion look like they're starting to get a little bit of life now on some chances, like they did in the first half of that first period before they gave up those 2 quick goals like you mentioned. That play, Tanais Mathurin doing a good job of activating himself and getting up into the rush and almost getting a scoring opportunity as well. Just a good defensive play by the 67s to keep the puck away from the front of the net.
In the neutral zone, Rower finds the puck for the 67s and he drops it back into his own end. And now the pass goes forward, but it's off the stick of Boucher, and North Bay get control of it. They play it down the left side boards. Hard hit by Arnsby, throwing Constantini right into the boards in front of his bench, allowing Christopoulos to go in the zone. And his shot goes off the butt end of the stick of the goaltender Donoso. Another chance coming from the left side, and that shot is blocked. Christopoulos plays it down below the goal line to Arnsby. Arnsby gets it back up high to Christopoulos. On the right side, he feeds it below the circle. Wakely's there. Shot, stop, rebound chance to stop. A wraparound chance from Wakely. He can't bury it. Puck still loose. Arnsby to the point to Christopoulos. Sends it to the left side. Shot coming in from Lukin. That one's blocked. It goes off the far side boards. Arnsby throws a hit. And then Erdl throws a hit. But neither guy can come up with a puck as Pinelli skates it into some clear zone. Constantini falls off the Erdl hit. But Ottawa still end up with the puck. They fire it down the ice. Icing called. Great shift there for the Battalion. But now they got to take a break with 9:22 to go in this second period.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news or access the Alumni Job Portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
And if you're the Battalion, that's exactly the type of shift you've been looking for all game long. A very energetic shift for the troops on that one, with lots of chances coming from each and every direction. And what can we say, what really started that was Wakely coming over the blue line, getting a pass, recognizing I don't have a good body position right now to take a shot, spinning it around and getting it to Christopoulos, who's coming in with a shooting lane. And that really kind of started that whole entire cycle game.
It also came off that hit that Arnsby threw.
Yes, that's true.
Right, and that allowed the Battalion to go into the zone.
Who else but Liam?
That's right, and there was also no panic on some of those passes, right? Arnsby and Wakely took their time, and they made some really nice, crisp passes between the three of them and Christopoulos. And how about Lukin taking a shot from the blue line?
Yeah, you don't see that very often. He's more of a pass-first type of guy, but maybe he's trying to implement that a little bit more into his game. As we see, we're struggling Leafs fans, and we hear every year Mitch Marner trying to take more shots. Maybe Alex Lukin trying to take a page out of Marner's book and take more shots.
Kyle Jackson wins the offensive zone draw for North Bay, and the puck goes behind the net. Jackson follows it back there. Pass to the middle to Petrov. To the left side, Winslow. Now Petrov over to Nelson on the right side circle. Takes the shot into the glove of Donoso.
Speaking of someone I want to see take more shots, Matvey Petrov. We've seen him shoot a lot. He has a very good shot for the Battalion. He only has, I believe, 2 or 3 goals on the year. And he opted against taking a shot on that attempt, giving it to his defenseman Ty Nelson. But again, when he takes the shot, there's always a chance it goes in the back of the net.
3 goals, 8 assists for the Edmonton Oilers. 6th round 2021 draft pick. 180th overall. May end up being one of the stolen jewels of that draft when it's all said and done. Here comes Petrov into the zone down the right side. Petrov's got a man with him. He takes a shot. It's off the pads of Donoso and redirected to the far side of the ice. Sent down the ice by Ottawa. Icing will be called, and this is starting to be some good cyclical play here by the North Bay Battalion, as it's been a couple of minutes with the puck in the zone. Ottawa, all they can do is ice it, and now you're getting fresh legs out there for North Bay.
Yeah, and what does it say to come out there with that first line, and now you're playing out the fourth line with Procession taking the face off with Romani and Sema as well. So, again, the faith that head coach Ryan Houlihan has in these guys.
Playing around to the far side, it's Sema in the corner. Sema digs it out, takes a shot that goes wide of the net. Procession and Winslow go to the puck. In the corner, Winslow's there, fights off a hit, sends it to the middle, but it's through everybody, and it'll escape the zone. Nelson drops back for it. Now feeds it up ahead to Sema. Sema bounces off a hit, tries to follow it on the end boards, gets around Maytier, finds Romani on the far side, to the point, to Kennedy, the shot comes in, save made there by Donoso. What do you make of the Battalion trying to generate some offense from that blue line here? Most of the time, if it's not Nelson or Winslow, you're not getting a shot from the blue line, but Kennedy's taking one, Lucan's taking one.
Yeah, and I think that's a good look for the Battalion because you don't want to become a little bit too predictable, whereas maybe that was a bit of what they were last year, was a little bit too predictable, but it still worked out pretty good in their favor. That being said, you get a shot on net and maybe it gets tipped in front with some traffic or Donoso doesn't see it, and it looks good.
There's a shot that comes in from a Thurin that gets deflected just wide. From the near side boards, a shot goes off, it's blocked, picked up by Ottawa, and that line will finally get it out of the zone and set down the ice. 7:55 to play in this 2-0 lead for the Ottawa 67s. Sent into the corner in the North Bay zone. Podolou and Mathurin trying to get it out of that area. Podolou will skate away with it and dump it down the ice. Tarasevich trying to get up to it. He was held a little bit going into the zone, but no call. And now Giroir goes the other way for Ottawa. Drops it back to Boucher. Back to Giroir behind the net. He loses his footing and the puck comes out. Arsby dumps it down off the end boards. Donoso will play it before Tarasevich can, but he can't clear. And it's shot right back towards the net. Comes down on the near side point. It's Christopoulos there. Walking in for the right side. Cross zone pass is blocked. Still in the slot. Ottawa picks it up and clears. 7 minutes to go in the period. 2-0 lead in the second for Ottawa. Wakely gets it up to Ertl coming in on the right side. Ertl going in behind the net. Now goes to the left side. Drops it off on the boards, looking for Lucan. He takes a hit, and Ottawa gets out of the zone. Pinelli the other way for the 67s. Pinelli shot in the zone just wide of the net. Secondary chance comes in front, and North Bay takes it away. Now it's Lucan skating down the right side. Lucan looking like he's got more confidence on every shift now. Sends it around the boards to the far side corner. Wakely's there battling for it. Arnsby helps him out. Now it's Ertl behind the goal line. Goes to the right side. Finds Nelson in the circle. Nelson to the middle. Takes a shot, rips it wide. Arnsby off the rebound on the left side. Hash marks. Goes to the boards. Plays it below the goal line. Pass comes to the middle. Ertl's there. Gives it back to Wakely. Back to Ertl. Going in towards the net. Now he goes behind. Gets it back to Nelson. His shot from the angle is blocked. Ertl sends it back in front. Wakely can't get a shot off. Ertl gets it again below the goal line. On the near side boards to Nelson. Nelson's shot comes in. That's stopped. Picked up in the slot by Smythe. He leaves it behind the net for Ewells. 5:50 to go in the second period. Ottawa gets it out of the zone. Still hanging on to that 2-0 lead. North Bay bring it right back through the neutral zone. McDonald loses it on the near side board. It is Beck going into the zone. He lost it to Winslow, who gets it back forward. Can't connect on the pass to McDonald, and is shot right back in by Beck. DiVincentis plays it behind his net, gives it up to the near side. McDonald has it for the Battalion, sends it down the ice. Into the zone, Petrov diving at it, gets it on net, and it's deflected away. 5:20 to go in the second period. McDonald behind the Ottawa net for the Battalion, plays it in the corner. The North Bay overager now switches sides. He gets bowled over in front of the net, no call coming, as Ottawa picks it up and clears the zone. Ottawa with a 2-0 lead, going into the attacking zone. Stonehouse drops it back. but Ottawa can't get a shot off on the tough D by the Battalion. They turn it over in front of the net, and they can't get a shot off a couple of times. Ottawa with some golden chances, but couldn't do anything with it. Now McDonald up ahead to Petrov. Check that precision, but precision puts it right into the pads of Donoso, and he holds on to it for a stoppage in play. 4:43 to play in the second. 2-0 Ottawa.
Wouldn't that have been something for your first career OHL goal off the stick of Kyle McDonald on a glorious chance, and really all you had to do was tip it in, but maybe a little bit too close to Donoso at that point for it to really go anywhere. But again, that's the Battalion in 67 is kind of trading haymakers here now in the last couple of minutes, and it's going to come down to whoever has the most stamina to endure it. And the Battalion really giving the 67 some more haymakers in the beginning of that portion. And Justin Earl having a couple of good shifts now as Kennedy takes a quick shot off the faceoff and is turned away by Donoso.
Out to the neutral zone with 4:30 to play in the second period. 2-0 lead for Ottawa. Romani back into the right side of the zone, but Gardner takes the puck away from him. Gets it up ahead to the stick of Barlas. Knocked away from him. News chasing it back to his own blue line for the 67s. Plays it forward, hard hit by Precision as he knocks Barlas clean off the puck. Into the neutral zone, Gardner has it for the 67s. With 4 minutes to play, he gets the pass up ahead to Barlas. Barlas gets it knocked off his stick again, and North Bay send the puck up ahead to Sema. The second-year forward for the Battalion dumps it in with 3:50 to play. Looking to get the Battalion back or on the scoreboard in this as they trail 2-0. Puck sent all the way into the North Bay zone. Troops looking to get it out, and they do. In the neutral zone, it's Podolou who gets called for a hand pass, and they'll blow the play down.
He's starting to get the sense that with 3:36 left in the second period, the Battalion would very much like to get one here before the end of the second period, to make it a one-goal lead going into that second intermission. And with the way that they've been playing, it really looks like they're getting closer and closer to that goal. It's just a matter of time. Donoso, who's been having a good game, it's just a matter. You get the sense that it's just a matter of time now for the troops.
And it's a small sample size, but when the Battalion lead after 2, they're 4-0. When they trail after 2, they're 0-2. So you're right, they'd like to at least get that one back to try and make those numbers a little more even and make it a little easier on themselves in the third period. 3:20 to play as Podolou brings it out of his own zone down the right wing side. Takes a shot. It's blocked off the pads of Smythe, and it ricochets around the zone to the far side boards. Podolou digging away at it over there. He's got some support. That's Lukin down there. Lukin tried to get a pass. He got tripped up getting to the puck, and that allows Foster to get out of the zone for Ottawa and down the ice. DiVincentis from behind his net sends it to Van Steensel on the far side. Van Steensel trying to move it out of the zone. Van Steensel flips it up down the ice, and that puck will run out of steam and keeps the play going, avoiding the the icing. But Ottawa have the puck, and they clear it through the neutral zone. 2:30 to go in the period. McDonald knocked down from behind. Icing is the call, and it was right in front of the official, but there's no call there coming up against Ottawa. And the head coach for the Battalion, Ryan Olhan, wants to know why that wasn't a call. The Battalion have had just one power play in this game so far.
Yeah, the Ottawa 67s are almost getting away with murder right now against Kyle McDonald, as that's a couple of shifts now where they've been able to take him down on what you think would be a penalty, and it hasn't been called. So I think Ryan Houlihan has himself quite the gripe as well, but you got to battle through these moments, and the troops hopefully can rebound and get one here on 5-on-5.
Turnover in front of the North Bay net. Ottawa trying to bring it around. They fire it through the zone. Picked up on the near side by McDonald. And McDonald plays it in behind the net to Winslow. Winslow gets the pass to the zone to McDonald and up over the blue line. In the neutral zone, he finds Jackson, drops it back to Nelson. Nelson coming in, fakes the shot, carries it, sends it in front. But it's off the stick of Winslow, into the pads of Donoso, but then off the pads and in behind the net. Now to the near side boards. McDonald's there. His shot is blocked. Gets knocked down again by Boucher. And it's kicked over the North Bay blue line. Picked up by Nelson with 1:45 to go. That's 2-0 Ottawa lead. Now Jackson has it. Drops it back behind the net for Winslow. Winslow sends it down the ice. McDonald racing in. And icing will be called against the North Bay Battalion with 1:37 to go. The troops are out shooting the 67s 10-5 in this period. 17-13 overall. They've won 26 of the 38 faceoffs. And they trail 2-0. So the numbers show that they're outplaying them a little bit.
It feels like, especially in this back half, that the ice has been tilted towards the Ottawa zone, and North Bay's done a great job of keeping momentum on their side.
But it's Ottawa winning the draw. They get a shot on DiVincentis, and he makes the glove save. 1:31 to play in the second period. Ottawa ahead 2-0.
A couple of great shifts by these top two lines as well has started this momentum, and if the Battalion come back and win this game or tie this game, we're going to look at that shift by the Arnsby line midway through the second, with the big hit from Arnsby and the good play and passing by Wakely and Arnsby and Ertl.
Face-off won by 67's Constantini. Takes a shot, blocked by DiVincentis. Rebound chance is blocked. And now the zone is a foot race. Wakely down the ice. Throws a stick check on Sermon. He gets the puck to Arnsby. Arnsby sends it down low. The puck comes back up high. And as it's touched by Ottawa, I'm not sure what the call was there. Oh, the net comes off. Okay. Great.
This is fun. And then a couple of rough stuff too there after the whistle. As now we see Mathurin out there with Christopoulos, so as Nelson's coming out now for Mathurin. So some Christopoulos is going off and Mathurin's staying on. So now we're seeing some, face-off percentages put into play here. And Ty Nelson, ever the on-ice general, telling his troops where to go.
Arnsby to take the draw against Tolnay. It's Tolnay gets that last little touch in to allow his defenders to get control of the puck. And his defenders clear the puck, but it's cleared over the glass and out of play. And they're saying it touched the glass, so it won't be a delay of game call. Arnsby arguing against it.
Sally can't buy a power play at this point, it feels like.
1:07 remaining.
It's going to be like the weakest call you've ever seen finally when they get a power play, too. I guarantee it.
1:07 remaining in the period. 2-0 Ottawa lead. Really hanging on to it at this rate. Arnsby once again can't win the offensive zone draw. And the 67s look to get it out. They send it down the ice. It's Boucher who goes offside. And then he's pushed by Nelson. And Nelson gives the crowd a little smile after that one.
You think Ty, the kid 24, as he's known on the podcast, looked like he was ready to go there a little bit. He looked like he was going to shake his gloves off, and then he turns around and smiles. So that's what I love about watching Ty Nelson play, is he knows how to really get under other players' skins. And as a Battalion player, or as a Battalion fan and broadcaster, I love seeing him on the ice for the troops. If I was a team of the 19, or a fan of the 19 other, well, the West hasn't seen him yet, other than the Sioux, but if I was a fan of any of the other teams in this league, Ty Nelson would be public enemy number one for me.
No doubt about that, and he will be our guest on our second intermission. He had a chance to catch up with Courtney and Ben earlier this week, so stay tuned for that, and then Derek and the guys will break down all the action as well following that interview. 1 minute remaining. Play inside the Ottawa zone. Foster gets the puck and clears it into the neutral zone. Knocked away from Gerrois, but Foster played it in the zone. Didn't know if there was a delay offside or not. Sent down the ice by the Battalion, and that will be icing against the home side. 2-0 Ottawa lead with 41 seconds remaining in this period.
Jackson going off, but McDonald hasn't, or Petrov hasn't, but now it looks like they're going to go. But Ty Nelson hasn't left he's leaving the ice now. I was going to say, Ty Nelson hasn't left the ice in the last 2 minutes, so.
Yeah.
Kyle McDonald's staying out there, though.
He'll be out there with Precision. And Petrov, it looks like. Yeah.
Maybe they're playing the face-off percentages again.
Maybe.
And they've liked what he's brought in the face-off dot.
How about the rookie going out there, winning the draw, but unfortunately his teammates clear it over the glass and outplay. So we'll see if he can win that again. Now McDonald off, and now Precision's line mates Sima and Romani go out and join him.
I wonder what the situation called for there with head coach Ryan Houlihan.
35 seconds remaining in the period. And now Precision waved out of the circle.
This almost has the feeling of the end of a third period, doesn't it?
Romani to take the draw. And the officials blow it down again.
Now it's Sima in the dot.
And a big scramble in the circle. Puck kick to the near side corner. Precision finds it, tries to just chip it ahead. Stuck on the boards again with 25 seconds to go. Ottawa with a 2-0 lead as they battle for it on the boards. The arm goes up by Hennigan at the very back end of the ice. It's going to be a roughing call against Ottawa. Luca Pinelli going in the box. And North Bay will have their second power... it'll be their second power play of the game with just 21 seconds remaining in the second period, and they trail 2-0 here in their second game at home of the season.
I didn't see the initial infraction myself, but I will say this one, sorry Henny, weak call, just to save my bacon.
Well, producer Ben says
I don't like Ben anyway, so he says he punched him in the head, but I don't like Ben. He's terrible. He asks the worst questions on the podcast.
Here we go. North Bay win the draw. They've got control of it on the half boards in the Ottawa zone. Big scrum there, but it goes down to Nelson. Nelson to the left side. That's Petrov. Petrov walking in, fires, save made by Donoso. Chip back out to Nelson. 3 seconds to go. His shot is high. Ricochets around the boards. And that will end period number 2. The same way period number 2 started is the same way it ends, with the 67s ahead, 2-0 after 40 minutes, but a minute 39 remaining on the North Bay power play.
Yeah, the Battalion doing a really good job in that second half of really kind of taking it to the 67s, and I think Ottawa is going to go into that dressing room and say, we're lucky to have a 2-0 lead here after 40 minutes of play. I think the Battalion, if they continue playing that way, it's just a matter of time, Matt.
Stay tuned. We'll hear from Ty Nelson, and then Derek, Sam, and Lyndon will break down the second period for you right here on the Frontline broadcast.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
welcome back, friends, to Memorial Gardens, where through 40 minutes of play, the North Bay Battalion still find themselves trailing the Ottawa 67s by a score of 2-0. Let's take a look at the scoring summary of the second period. Neither team were able to solve the goaltenders in that second period. One penalty again for each team, as going off at 5:10, Liam Arnsby went off for a face-off violation before Luca Pinelli picked up a roughing call at 19:39. So the Battalion will have a minute 39 left in the power play to start the third period. Taking a look at the shots on goal. In the second period, Ottawa 6 shots for a total of 14. The North Bay Battalion 11 for a total of 18. Power play, the 67s 1 for 2, Battalion 0 for 2, but still have that minute 39 left in the power play. And in the face-off dot, the North Bay Battalion have a big advantage, 30-17 on win draws. Taking a look around the OHL on this Thursday night, in Niagara, the Ice Dogs trail the Erie Otters by a score of 2-1 through 40 minutes of play there. Just late in the second period of play, the Peterborough Petes now have a 2-1 lead over the Kingston Frontenacs. And in Windsor, the Windsor Spitfires and Saginaw Spirit are deadlocked at 2, just over a minute left to go in that second period of play. In the NOJHL tonight, taking a look at the Boston Voodoos. They are in Sudbury taking on the Greater Sudbury Cubs. They find themselves losing 4-1 after 2 periods of play there. Taking a look around the NHL at how our Canadian teams are doing. The Toronto Maple Leafs are tied with the Dallas Stars 1-1 after late in the second period. The Ottawa Senators and the Washington Capitals, they're also tied 2-2. 5 minutes left in the second. After 2 periods of play, the Montreal Canadiens now lead the Arizona Cardinals by a score of 5-0. And later tonight, the Carolina Hurricanes take on the Edmonton Oilers. That's a 9 o'clock start. And in Calgary, the Buffalo Sabres, they get underway at 9:30. In the MLB playoffs, the Houston Astros and the New York Yankees, they're still scoreless in the bottom of the third. In the NFL on Thursday Night Football, the New Orleans Saints lead the Arizona Cardinals by a score of 7-3. Talking about our player to watch, Ty Nelson, he was able to sit down as the Frontline podcast was able to catch up with him. Ben Long and Courtney Kenny were able to sit down and have a few words with Ty Nelson, and let's hear a little clip of that podcast right now.
And first things first, like the last time you and I talked, I know Ben has a list of questions that he wants to go through, but I got to hop off with this one. The last time you and I actually talked outside of, hey, how's it going at the one preseason game, it was just before you got drafted. So you've been drafted. What's that like, the Seattle Kraken?
Yeah, I mean, it's unreal. I mean, just having that feeling, knowing that everything that you've done and all the hard work and everything like that to make your dream come true. And I mean, it's one step of the process is to get drafted, and super grateful and obviously really excited to be in the Kraken organization.
What's it like to be a part of an organization that up until like a couple of years ago was just a thought kind of thing?
I don't know. I mean, I couldn't be like more grateful for I am. I'm in a great position. And Seattle, the night before we came back, they took us to the preseason game, and like it's a preseason game. Like obviously it's NHL. You're thinking, yeah, there's probably going to be about 10,000. I think there was probably about close to 25 in the rink, and it's like you can see how much buzz there is around the team in Seattle and stuff. So I mean, it's fantastic.
With Seattle as a whole, I mean, they went real OHL heavy on this draft. They took teammate Kyle Jackson. I mean, of course, they picked Shane Wright at 4th overall. What's it like going down to the development camp and then camp itself with, a bunch of guys that you already, are familiar with?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's unreal, and it made like going to the camps a lot easier because you have your buddies there with you. I mean, me and Shane, we've been buddies since we were 6 years old, and then I know Goyette for a long time, probably about 5-6 years now, and then obviously me and Jacko, and then just getting to know all the other guys as well, like Tucker Robertson on Peterborough. So just like becoming close friends with all those guys, it makes it a lot easier because you're going to an NHL like training camp, right? You don't know what to expect, but at least having your buddies by your side, it makes it a lot easier.
with the camp and everything, we saw you became kind of a bit of a media sensation in Seattle a little bit. They gave you some options to kind of run with it and interview some guys and stuff, and then you guys were up on the Space Needle and everything. What was the experience like in Seattle in general?
Yeah, no, I mean it was fantastic. And then, like you said, with the social media kind of aspect they gave me, they kind of let me have a free range of things. So, I mean, when we were touring around and stuff, I was taking pictures on one of those like disposable cameras and just trying to make the most out of the experience. And it was a lot of fun. And I mean, just visiting the city, I mean, it's great. Like I thought it was gonna be a lot more like Toronto, where it's more so of like buildings and that sort of thing. But it was actually very like economy friendly. Like it's very green. It's you got the ocean right there, so it's awesome.
For you now, being a Toronto boy, I gotta ask because there might be a little bit of bias here, but CN Tower or Space Needle?
I can't judge because I haven't been on the CN Tower before. I've been in the Space Needle, so it leans towards the Space Needle right now.
Oh my God, that's got to change, Ty. How have you never gone up the CN Tower?
I don't know. I don't. I mean, you always drive by it when you're going to the Jays games. You walk by it, but I mean, that thing's pretty high. I don't know if I feel comfortable going up there.
And that was a great job by the Frontline Podcast as Courtney Kenny and our producer Ben Long caught up with Ty Nelson. You can catch that episode or any of the previously Frontline Podcast anywhere you can download your favorite podcast. Go there, find it, and give them a subscribe. And even you can get notified of upcoming issues. Well, just as we continue here in this second intermission, I'm going to be joined now by Sam Boyven and Lyndon Holtkamp. And let's get a couple quick words, starting with you, Sam. The Battalion had to be strong there, killing off that penalty kill to start the second period, and Dom DeVincentis had to make a few great saves. How key was that to that second period?
It was very key. Battalion played very well this second period, better than Ottawa did, and that was a huge momentum shift. So penalty kills can do that. Power plays, a bad power play can ruin your momentum, and a good penalty kill allows for the Battalion to have the momentum in the second period.
And for you, Lyndon, Max Donoso had to be strong in goal, making 11 saves in that second period alone. He was by far the best Ottawa 67s player. Just how important is that position for a team like the Ottawa 67s?
Oh, yeah. It's so important to have a strong goalie back there to give your team a break when you have a bit of a rough period like Ottawa did there. To know you have a goalie you can rely on is so important.
And for you, Sam, the Battalion are going to have a minute 39 to try and cut into this Ottawa 67's lead. Is that going to be key to get that momentum going into that third period?
Definitely. Battalion really need to capitalize on this power play because, as you know, Ottawa is a very good penalty kill team. Battalion kind of middle of the pack power play. If they're able to get a goal out of this, it's monumental for a third period comeback.
So if you're Coach Ryan Houlihan, Sam, what are you telling your players as you come out for the third period?
Just play your best and play like the second period was, because that was awesome. Ottawa's going to come hard, so you got to come harder than them. So.
And for you, Lyndon, Ottawa 67 coach Bob Cameron, what are you telling your players to prepare for in the third period?
Yeah, I think you got to tell your guys to reset a little bit. You came out real strong in the first period, and you got to bring some of that back for the third.
You've seen 40 minutes now of action here in Memorial Gardens. Is it intense, and how do you feel the fans are reacting to the way the Battalion are playing? Sam, let's get some words from you to start.
Yeah, the fans are reacting great. It's loud in here. We can barely even talk in the booth, and lots of chirps coming from the fans. I was laughing at a couple words from the fans for the refs and for the players, but it's fun to hear that. Lyndon,
yourself, what do you think about the atmosphere within Memorial Gardens?
Oh yeah, atmosphere is great in here. You can hear fans giving it to the referees, even the hometown boy there on the ice. But that's what part of makes the experience, right? So.
And just talk about quickly, Lyndon, your player to watch, Tyler Boucher. He's got that one goal in the first period, didn't really do much in the second.
Yeah, we didn't see too much of him in the second. He was they're playing with the lines a little bit. Ottawa was trying to get something going, but he had a nice goal off the end boards, chasing the puck down in the first period, and maybe he'll come out with something big in the third.
And Sam, Ty Nelson, the player to watch for the North Bay Battalion, hasn't found the score sheet yet. 4 shots on goal, though, through 2 periods. He's the guy that wants to shoot the puck every time he has it. What is going to be key for him in the 3rd period?
Well, he's had a solid game so far. He's doing everything right, so really just got to continue. Maybe get lucky, have an open chance, and pick your spot to shoot and shoot it.
And Lyndon, we talk so much about scoring for the North Bay Battalion. That top line of Petrov, Jackson, and McDonald, they contribute a lot of offensive punch there in that 2nd period. What is it like to try and continue that punch going into the 3rd?
Oh yeah, for those guys, the power play will help with that. You gotta carry some of that momentum with you, like just to be able to come out flying and really attack the puck and attack the net like they were doing at the end of the 2nd there will be big.
And it's been kind of weird. Usually we see the North Bay Battalion on the opposite end of the face-offs. When you're starting with that puck, such the Battalion are doing a little bit more, that is so much key to starting up a good offense.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like to have they spent a good 4 or 5 minutes in the Ottawa zone in the middle of the 2nd period there, and just from winning face-offs, and then you're able to set up and cycle puck around and get shots on the net.
Dom's been great in net, Sam, for the North Bay Battalion. Really doing a great job steering his rebounds into less dangerous areas. Just what keys have you seen him focus on tonight?
Rebounding the puck, really. He's been controlling that puck. He's been putting it out of the way of danger. He's been fast. He's been alert. He's been aware. Players have been good communicating to him about where to go. So,
other than that one bad bounce off the end boards, he's looked pretty solid for the North Bay Battalion. Doing a great job making a breakaway save there to start the 2nd period, backstopping the penalty kill. And after 40 minutes of play, the North Bay Battalion still find themselves trailing by a score of 2-0. When we return to the frontline broadcast, Matt Sukram and Courtney Kenny will take you through all of the 3rd period action as we conclude tonight's frontline broadcast, brought to you by Average Joe's.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
And we welcome you back inside North Bay Memorial Gardens. A big thanks to our group that took you through the 2nd intermission. And as we get ready here for the 3rd period, the Battalion have a minute 39 with the man advantage, and they have a 2-0 deficit to try and claw their way out of. Shots on goal, 17-14 for the troops. And here's Matt to take you through the 3rd period.
Thanks, Courtney. It's Ty Nelson off that draw, bringing the puck through the neutral zone up to the red line, dumping it in. Played in behind the net. Held on the boards is Arnsby. He kicks it over to Wakely. Gets it down to Erdl. Erdl to Wakely on the half boards. Wakely in to the corner to Arnsby. Arnsby flips it back around in the half boards to Wakely. Wakely sends it to the point to Erdl. Erdl across to the far side to Nelson. Nelson, big wind up, and it's right into the pads of Donoso. Interesting choice here by Ryan Olean, going with the 4 forwards and just the 1 defenseman in Wakely on this power play.
Yeah, it's and Justin Erdl and Ty Nelson are the men on the point, or rather Wakely will be on this face-off as he'll have the offhanded shot, who's able to take a quick shot if Arnsby can win the puck back to him. But it's one back to Nelson.
He did win it back to him, but it's on the wrong side for Nelson. Nelson is a right-handed shot, so he was just playing a little too far off his boards, and he couldn't get the stick over there in time. But they bring the puck back into the zone with 45 seconds to go on the power play. It's down to Nelson on the left side point. Takes a shot. It's off his stick and way out of play. 19:03 to go, 2-0 for the 67s.
And Ty Nelson, you hear a lot of, or if you read any sports articles, fans or the media and teams really covet right-handed shot defenseman. So for Seattle to get a right-handed shot defenseman in Ty Nelson, you have to think they're very happy about that. Interesting to note, Romani and Van Steensel now out on this power play unit, not Petrov and Jackson. Or rather, Petrov is out there, but Jackson's
Petrov, not. McDonald. I haven't seen Jackson in a while, actually. Come to think of it. Petrov skating through the right side of the zone. Sends it through the slot. Van Steensel was skating in there, but he could not get his stick on the puck. McDonald through the neutral zone, trying to burst through the seam. He gets pushed into the corner. Comes out of the corner, tries to get a pass across. It's off the skate of Romani this time. Picked up by Jack Beck and sent down the ice. Ricocheted around the North Bay zone as we come back to 5-on-5 with 18:15 remaining in the period. Nelson dumps it in right towards Donoso, then takes a shot on him from the sharp angle, and it's covered up quickly by Donoso. He has stopped all 19 shots that have come his way.
Yeah, and some of those shots have been some great scoring chances, true, by the troops. So one thing that they haven't been able to get going at all is that backdoor play, the cross seam play at all for the Battalion. If they try to go cross ice in the slot, Ottawa's done a good job of clogging that up.
Ottawa win the draw, but they're having a hard time trying to clear it out of the zone. At the blue line, North Bay have it. Precision decides to take it out of the zone and drop it back to Lukin. He fires it through the neutral zone, turns it over, and now here come the 67s, but their pass is interrupted by Sema. He gets it to Precision, who finds Potalu coming in. On the left side, he's got room, but his shot goes right into the glove of Donoso for his 20th save of the game.
Great effort there for Potalu, and a good piece of using his hands there as the puck was just behind him. He's able to kick it up and be able to grab the puck on his offhand and really get a good opportunity off on Donoso. And one of his first goals last year came on the penalty shot against Barrie, where he kind of scored from that slot area and he has a very underrated, dangerous shot for the Battalion.
Face-off won by the Battalion in the offensive zone. Matherin's shot is blocked off the skates and out. Tolne going in on a quick 2-on-1. Tries to get it past Kennedy, but a good job by Kennedy to keep him on the outside and kick the puck away. Ottawa gets it back, still controlling in the offensive zone. They send it in towards the net. It's wide. Picked up off the half boards, and it's controlled by Sermon on the far side. Sent in behind the net. Kennedy lost it. It's off his stick. It slowly trickles towards DiVincentis, who will cover it up for a stoppage and play. 2-0 for the 67s with 17:18 to go in the third period.
One thing the Battalion did really well in that second half is that they're able to get the cycle game going and get some secondary chances on Donoso. They haven't really been able to get that going here, even with the power play to start the third, as we're just under 3 minutes in. Hopefully that can change for the troops.
Gardner with his fifth and Boucher with his fifth, both of those coming in the first period, and that's been all the scoring since the 14:08 mark of that first period. North Bay get the puck out off the draw. So Jackson is out there now. I hadn't seen him. Oh, he got hit up high, so he I guess he got some extra attention, and he's actually out there wearing a face mask now. So the puck comes out of the zone and sent down the ice. 16:50 remaining in the third period. North Bay down 2-0. It's Ottawa with control of the puck behind their own blue line. On the far side boards, Constantini waits. He's got time. He's got space, and he'll use it to go all the way down the ice over the blue line into the North Bay zone. Puts it in front of the net, and it's steered aside by Nelson. Play continues as the 67s bring it out of the zone. It's Rohr coming in. He cuts through the defense, but a shot goes wide on the glove side. Now it's Constantini with a chance at the blue line. His shot is up over the glass and out of play. 16:13 to go in the third. 2-0 Ottawa lead.
And that was Owen Van Steensel coming away. Coming over. He may have gotten a piece of that as he stuck out his left leg to try and kick it away, and up into the netting it went. And that's something we've seen from Van Steensel, where he's not afraid to throw his body in front of pucks. I mean, just think of last year against Mason McTavish in the playoffs, blocking a bunch of his chances on power plays. And you have to think that even though it wasn't the result that they wanted, Van Steensel had to go into the summer probably a little black and blue after falling to the Bulldogs in 4 straight.
16:10 to go as right off the draw, the puck trickles towards DiVincentis again. So another defensive zone draw coming up for the North Bay Battalion. Potaloo in the middle. And it's stuck there. Finally, it's taken away by Van Steensel, and he dumps it in, going down the left wing side into the near side corner. Play to the far side. The pass through the slot gets on the stick of Lukin at the line. Lukin backhands it into the corner. Play behind the net to Potaloo. Potaloo gets stuck there, but he tries to center it to Tarasevic, who can't get a shot off, but he falls on the puck, gets back up. Potaloo has it now, takes a shot right in on the doorstep, off the glove of Donoso, and it was just sitting there, but the Battalion could not get that secondary chance as the 67s will clear it away, and that is something they have done well all night, as is shot in towards DiVincentis. Is Ottawa has not given up too many of those secondary chances to the North Bay Battalion. 15:20 to play in the third period as the play continues on. 2-0 Ottawa, who have control of the puck deep in the North Bay zone. Hit behind the net, and that allows Christopoulos to get the puck down the left side boards. They're trying to clear it, but Ottawa keeps it in. Turning, the shot goes wide of the net. Foster behind the net now. Plays it to the far side, back behind the net. Knocked away from the stick of Foster, but Muse is there to leave it on the boards for Foster. He plays it back in the corner for Gardner, and the puck is held there as Gardner and Precision battle for it. It's finally cleared out of that area, and Sema gets it out of the zone for North Bay. Sema around a defender, going to the puck, but Donoso just a step outside the blue paint and shovels it away with the poke check. 14:25 to go as Ottawa dumps it in. They've got a 2-0 lead, but North Bay pick up that dumped in puck, and they get it up to the captain Arnsby quickly. He sends it in, ricocheted around to the far side board. Sema's there, plays it in the corner for Arnsby. Arnsby trying to move back down the half boards, now plays it back in the corner for Erdl. Erdl throws a hit, and now he's stuck on the end boards, battling for the puck. Arnsby trying to help him out. Arnsby finds it, centers it, and they don't get a good shot off. Taking it out of the zone is Stonehouse. Stonehouse is knocked down on the back end of the play. Puck ends up on the stick of Erdl, and he dumps it in. Puck inside the Ottawa zone, and they're going to call a hand pass against Erdl as Arnsby touched it, and the faceoff will come outside the zone. 13:52 to play. North Bay down 2-0, but they lead 22-15 on the shots. They lead 36-19 in faceoffs.
The Battalion once again getting some good opportunities there on the cycle game of that second line with some big bodies being thrown around from Erdl and Arnsby. And they're starting to open up the ice a little bit for the 67s as we get another quick whistle here off the draw, as it looks like we're going to get a high sticking call.
And I think it's against Boot. No, never mind. It's Erdl.
Erdl, 2 minutes. So it's high sticking. They just came to check out to see if Boucher was bleeding, because that would have resulted in the double minor And this is probably the biggest penalty kill of the game at this point.
Certainly is.
2 minutes. Justin Ertl will sit in the box. We can't really hear what it is, but it is high sticking is the call.
And we'll see if the Battalion can kill this one off. They did on their last one, and they looked really impressive. And then that in turn led to a number of scoring chances on the other end. Through the neutral zone, Tolnay gets it over the blue line and carries it down the left side into the corner. Now he's met by Mathern. A couple of guys battle in that area. 1:30 to go on the power play. They've killed off 30 seconds already, the Battalion have. Puck finally moves down into the half-boards on the far side. But now Christopoulos holding his man there. Finally comes clear. Now it's Muse coming in on the right side. Back to the middle. Shot from Constantini comes in. Save is made. Loose puck in the slot. And it's then trickled towards DiVincentis, who covers it up for stoppage and play. 13:04 to go in the period. 2-0 lead for the 67s.
1:15 left on that man advantage with the 2 minutes for high sticking against Justin Ertl. And 22 shots on goal for the Battalion, 16 for the 67s. And I really like the play that Ertl's had in this game, where he's really brought a physical edge to his game. And unfortunately, he's in the box right now. But other than that, he's looked really good in the Battalion green this game.
We got James Savard listening in from Colorado. Hello, James. Playback underway as Lukin touches the puck, lifts it up. It goes up and over the glass and out of play, so we'll do it again. Another face-off inside the offensive zone. 57 seconds remaining in the North Bay penalty. Ertl is in the box. 12:46 to go in the period, and Ottawa lead 2-0.
Again, North Bay, that was one of the moments in the second period where they kind of turned their momentum their way, was that penalty kill. We'll have to see if they're able to hold off this one. As you mentioned, 57 seconds left here in the man advantage for the Ertl high sticking penalty.
And they've done a decent job so far. The 67s did get that one good chance, but less than a minute to go. We'll see if the Battalion can tighten up. It's Beck with the puck at the blue line. Pass to the right side, Pinelli. To the middle, now back to Pinelli at the top of the right circle. Flips it to the far side to Beck. Down low, in behind the net. That was Rohr there. He flips it in the corner to Pinelli. He gets knocked down, but he gets it to Matier at the line. He finds Beck. Down low to Rohr. Back to Beck. Up high at the far side. Across to the middle to Matier. Now to Beck. Walking in. Shot blocker save made by DiVincentis. Another chance. That one's turned aside. Puck in the far side corner. North Bay can't get it out. Controlled at the line by Matier. With 10 seconds to go on the power play. Over to Beck. Down to the right side. Kick save made by DiVincentis, who went post to post. Back in front of the net. North Bay trying to clear it. Pinelli's right there. Back outside. Shot save made. Rebound chance. And they score. It took about 6 or 7 good chances from the 67s. They finally get it past DiVincentis. But you got to wonder, how did North Bay not clear that puck?
That's how it was. This DiVincentis is slow to get up on this one, and Andrew Sachku, the trainer, coming out to check on him. But the Battalion had about 2 or 3 good chances to get out of their zone, and they weren't able to do so. And then DiVincentis with what looked like the save of the night, and then coming across, and the puck bouncing in the crease a little bit. Just not able to get it past. And you can only, boys, DiVincentis can't do it by himself here. You got to help him. You got to get that puck out of the way. As now you find yourself down 3-0 after you've been arguably the better team throughout half of this game, and now it's a scary moment again. Mentioned DiVincentis just stretching it out. And last year you have to think, Joe Verbetic goes down, okay, well, we have Dom DiVincentis in that. Bit of a scary situation for the troops this year if Dom DiVincentis is injured for an extended period of time.
Yeah, Charlie Robertson is the backup. He's gotten into 2 games so far this season. 5.66 goals against average and an .811 save percentage in those 2 games. And he is a OHL rookie, so those First-year jitters certainly don't help, but you got to figure it out at some point if you want to stick around in this league. And, Robertson, he doesn't even have his helmet on right now because it looks like DiVincentis it's going to be good to go, and that is certainly a good sign.
Yeah, you have to think bated breath was the term for head coach Ryan Houlihan as he waited to see what would happen with Dom DiVincentis. I think I figured out the culprit as to why the Battalion haven't been able to score a goal yet. General manager and friend of the podcast, Adam Dennis, is up here this period. Usually he's standing down there. So as a superstitious guy when it comes to sports, why aren't you standing down in the corner, Adam? I'm going to have to ask him that question next time I talk to him.
Well, the Battalion now trail 3-0 to the Ottawa 67s with 11:45 to play in this third period. And off the draw, Ottawa dump it right down. They play it back to the far side to Stonehouse. It's down to the point. Now to the near side, Sermon. His shot in is blocked in front by Winslow. Now it's Stonehouse in the middle. His shot goes off a stick, over the glass and out of play. 11:28 to go in the third. 3-0. Ottawa lead. And they got about, 4 or 5 shots in that power play alone.
Yeah, and with that third goal, this little hill kind of feels like a mountain now for the Battalion. Although it was starting to creep up to feeling like a mountain with the way that Donoso's been turning them away on the other end. But it's not a good feeling right now in the Gardens for Battalion faithful with 11 and a half minutes left.
It'll take quite a bit for the Battalion to come back here now. They got to get the puck out of their own zone first. Tolnay behind the net, lost it. North Bay gets it up ahead to Sema, and Sema takes a ride on the boards right in front of the North Bay bench. A hard check coming out of the zone. Sema's okay, though, as the puck is sent down the ice for icing against North Bay.
Yeah, good to see Sema be okay. I mean, the Battalion do have some options should people go, get injured with Brett Bouchard and Jacob Therian taken in the most recent draft. But again, Nick Sema, a guy who brings a lot to the table. You don't want to see him get injured either.
North Bay looking at get the puck out of the zone with 11 minutes to go. They do, and they send it down the ice. And it goes right towards Donoso to stop it with 10:55 to play in the third. North Bay still down 3-0. Now you're looking, now you're looking for your leaders to come up big. I mean, Kyle Jackson, 5 goals and 9 points on the season. You're looking at Matvey Petrov maybe to come in. He's got 3 goals and 8 points. So, a couple of those guys are probably going to get a lot of ice time in the last 10:55 here. As the Battalion win the draw, drop it back to Nelson. He fires it. Big chance on the rebound. Erdl sends it off the shoulder of the goaltender Donoso. Another chance in the circle, and it's right into the chest of Donoso. And you're right now it feels like the Battalion don't have any idea of how they're going to beat this guy.
Yeah, Donoso's had a really good start to his season. Of course, so is the Ottawa 67s going, undefeated so far through the early going, 6-0. But it just feels like Donoso's in their head a little bit. It doesn't help when Erdl's shooting it right into his crest either, but you're not going to get many rebounds off that chance. But the Battalion have been getting chances just like that one with Kennedy from the point, but there's been no tips. There's been hardly any bodies in front. And, Donoso just making some easy saves. And when he has to, he's making the hard ones look easy as well.
Well, and as we said earlier in the period, North Bay have not been getting a lot of those secondary chances on rebounds. He's either gobbled it up or steered it way outside. Ottawa clear the puck down the ice. Stonehouse going into the corner. Played back down the half boards. It's Erdl for North Bay. He gets the puck out of the zone. Was looking for Wakely down the ice, but it's past his stick. Ottawa send it right back into the North Bay zone. And Erdl gets it at his own blue line. Tries to feed it up ahead to Jackson going into the zone. He had Wakely with him, but it's knocked off their stick. And it's Ottawa going the other way. Halfway through the third. 3-0 Ottawa as they bring it back into the zone. It's Jackson who has it in front of his own net, finds Petrov, who finds McDonald. Down the right wing side, Kyle McDonald coming in. Big shot, it goes off the shoulder of Donoso. Picked up on the near side boards by Winslow. Played behind the net to McDonald. McDonald, he lost it in his own skates, and Ottawa clears it. 9:30 to go as Ottawa leads 3-0 in the third. They dump it down. It's Nelson who picks it up. Nelson down the left wing to Petrov. Up ahead to Jackson. Over to the right side. Nelson coming in the zone. Nelson goes behind the net, tries to center it. He gets knocked down. And McDonald tries to get it behind the net. Gets it to Petrov at the line, actually. Petrov's shot gets blocked. And Ottawa are able to clear. 9:09 to play. Here comes Pinelli in the zone. It's right on the doorstep. DiVincentis had to make 2 quick stops there to keep the puck out. Now it's Boucher with it. He lost it as McDonald gets it out of the zone. He'll carry it now into the Ottawa end. Tries to dump it in. It's steered aside by Donoso quickly, and Ottawa come out the other way. Rohr dumps it in with 8:40 to play in the third period. Lukin gets it up ahead to Van Steensel. Coming down the left wing side, Van Steensel dumps it in off the glass. In behind the net, Tarasevic centers it. Christopoulos is there, fires it wide. Rebound chance, and no one can get a piece of the puck, and it's cleared. Ottawa lead 3-0 as they bring the puck back into the North Bay zone. There's a shot that's blocked. Now Tarasevic trying to go the other way. He gets it up to the North Bay bench and then dumps it down the ice. 8:10 to go, and there's a couple of hard stick checks behind the play, but no call. Now Beck with it into the North Bay zone. Shot comes in. Save made by DiVincentis. 8 minutes to play in the third. It's 3-0 Ottawa.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news or access the Alumni Job Portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
So tonight's attendance, 2,331. Here to see the Battalion so far get shut out to the Ottawa 67s, 3-0. And again, the Battalion's starting to get some chances again and starting to get some momentum going. But just not what they've really been looking for. And again, we talk about the secondary chances, and it hasn't really worked out for them yet in this one as they lead Ottawa 25-21 in the shot category. And really, you start to think about who for the Battalion has been a difference maker in this game, and there isn't many that you can really circle. Ty Nelson's look good, Justin Ertles look good, Processions look good. Other than that, Matt, I don't really know who I can look to and say, this guy's been going all game. Who can we count on to get a goal?
Well, in the second period, I felt the top 2 lines had some really good shifts, and that was supplemented by the bottom 2 lines coming in and following them, especially when they had draws in the offensive zone. And in fact, North Bay has outdrawn them 42-23 in the circle, but they just haven't been able to really use that momentum. Yeah. And again, Donoso easily being first star of the game to this point. I mean, he stopped all 25 shots that have come his way. And like you said earlier, he has made things look easy at times. North Bay trying to get the puck out. It's shot back in deep by the Ottawa 67s. Played on the near side boards. Moving it along that area. North Bay trying to kick it out, and it does clear. Tarasevic out to Mathurin. Down the left wing, over the blue line. Mathurin, the defenseman, going in. Knocked off his stick, and it's controlled by Ottawa. They play it back in behind the net, and now there's going to be a high stick call against Ottawa as Van Steensel took the stick up high.
That'll be 2 minutes. No
and
blood.
He's trying to show him that he's trying to say, look, I got something on my finger. And the ref said, yeah, right. So he sends him to the box. So 7:32 to go. Muse is in the box, and maybe this sparks something now for the North Bay Battalion.
The Battalion haven't looked great on the man advantage in this game, but hopefully we'll see something here in this period, or in this opportunity.
Still looking to score their first power play goal at home this season. Sorry, they went 1 for 3. 0 for 3 on the power play last Thursday. And they are 0 for 2 tonight. Jackson has the puck in the neutral zone, fires it in. Whipped around the boards, McDonald. Sends it back to the near side. Jackson going into the corner. Down the boards to Petrov. Across to the right side. It snaps McDonald's stick on that pass. And now Tolnay goes one-on-one down the ice with Nelson. Tolnay into the zone, takes a shot, and it goes off the crossbar. Puck bounces out ahead to McDonald, who's got some new wood out there. Sends it up ahead. The entry pass is blocked. And back down the other way goes Rohr. Rohr into the zone against 3 Battalion players. He sends it all the way back to Ottawa's end to Constantini. And now they send it back forward to Beck. Beck over the blue line, sends it all the way back to his own zone to Constantini. And now they'll fire it all the way back into the North Bay zone.
I mean, some of that is circumstance, but I haven't seen the Battalion power play look this bad in so long.
70, what am I talking about here? 6:05 to go in the period, well, in the game. 3-0 Ottawa lead. North Bay with 30 seconds left on their power play, their third of the game. Winslow at the line to the left side boards, Wakely. Wakely lost it. Beck will slowly carry it out and dump it down the ice. The Calgary Flames draft pick looking really good on this penalty kill for the 67s. Now Wakely with 10 seconds to go brings it forward. Dumps it in. Off the end boards, picked up by Donoso, and he'll hold it for a stoppage of play with 2 seconds left and the penalty to Muse. 5:35 to play in this third period.
I mean, it's not hard for Jack Beck to look good on this penalty kill as the whole entire 67s. I mean, to their credit, they do have a good penalty kill, but I don't think they're really this good of a penalty kill. The Battalion power play, like we mentioned, just a whole sorts of disoriented on this one, and they have not looked great at home at all this year. And it's disheartening to see.
There's a shot off the draw. It's wide of the net. Back to 5-on-5. Nelson behind the net gets shoved into the glass. Seema's trying to help him out with the puck, but it's taken away by Ottawa. Sent down the ice. That will be icing called against the 67s with 5:18 to play. 3-0 Ottawa in the third.
The Battalion really not doing anything to give anyone confidence as we see people start to head to the doors here, as this is a 3-0 lead for the 67s. And again, Donoso just having himself a great game so far for the 67s. And I've asked this question a couple of times. I'm going to keep asking, who's going to be the guy who steps up in this one? And so far, not many of the troops have answered the call.
Face-off won by Ottawa. They're trying to clear, and they do get it just over the blue line. Carrying down the ice is Smythe, and he gets bumped off the puck as he dumps it in. Winslow picks it up, and he'll carry it forward. Down the right wing side. Sends it in towards Donoso. He leaves it there. And the Ottawa defense are looking to get it out now. They send it around to the near side and clear it out of the zone on the carry by Giroux. He dumps it into the North Bay zone on the far side boards. And Giroux keeps it in at the line and dumps it in deep. 4:30 to play in the period. North Bay down 3-0. McDonald over the blue line. He lost the puck. And it's sent forward by Rohr. Rohr gets it back in the neutral zone now. Tries to play it towards the net. It's Pinelli who has it there. He skates to the board, sends it in, and DiVincentis makes a save. 4:16 to play in the third. 3-0 Ottawa.
Much different atmosphere than it was last week against the Peterborough Petes, where the troops come away with a 3-1 victory. And now the Battalion have only scored 2 goals on home ice through 2 games with a goalie in net, as the third one came with the empty netter. So, you know, you got to get this offense going somehow. And, I mean, I get it. Brandon Coe and Mitch Russell took up a big chunk of that offense.
Here comes Van Steeso down the ice, racing towards the puck. But on last-ditch effort, Sermon is able to get it away from him. There's another puck on the ice. Where did that come from? And the official goes in the corner to pick it up. That was strange.
Came from like the roof, it looked like.
Someone in the crowd threw it on the ice. It might have just been a kid. That was a weird one. Anyway, 3:30 to go as the Battalion bring it back in the zone. Tarasevic trying to get through a couple guys. Erdl throws a hit. Tarasevic has the puck now on the near side boards. Into the corner, looking for some support. He finds Arnsby on the side, and his shot goes high. Down in the point. They try to flip it in. That comes to the line. Arnsby can't hold it, and Ottawa get it out of the zone. There's a hit thrown as Erdl knocks Stonehouse down. Wakely trying to go in the zone, but he is just held up by Muse, and it's sent all the way down the ice. Flip back into the Ottawa zone with 2:45 to go in this 3-0 Ottawa game. Delayed offside call against North Bay, and that will allow Métier, the Sault Ste. Marie native, to dump it down the ice. Into the far side corner. Arnsby battling forward in the North Bay zone. Winslow's there as well. And the 67 is just doing whatever they can to run out the clock here. Arnsby and Mathurin battling for it. Winslow as well. That puck just frozen on the corner. Finally comes free. And carrying it behind the net is Petrov. Petrov looking down the ice with 2:10 to play in the third. Now he'll bring it forward. Petrov sends it through the neutral zone on the stick of Nelson. Nelson off the end boards. Takes a shot and it's stopped by Donoso. Now Petrov picks it up in the corner. Petrov sends it to the near side of Jackson. Jackson waits, sends it in, scores! It might have been tipped by McDonald, but either way, the Battalion will not be shut out tonight. It's 3-1 for Ottawa.
Kyle McDonald leading the charge back to the bench, so that'll indicate his second goal of the season. And breaking Donoso's shutout bid as now he gets a talking to from the 67's teammate as they kind of come in and try to take ownership for it. Other than that, Donoso's had a really good game, but that's the third goal now, scored a 5-on-5 for the Battalion here since their home schedule has opened up. And you have to think it might be a little bit too little, too late. Now we're going to get a timeout here.
And you wonder how that reworks the strategy now for Ryan Holohan, whereas before it's we're just going to keep rolling our lines until someone makes something happen. Now you go into real strategy mode, right? Down by 2, less than 2 minutes to play, but do you pull the netminder now to try and get back to within 1?
I think you do at this point. I mean, you have to wait till you get possession, of course, because the face-off's going to come in the neutral zone. But yeah, it's just, again, I don't know. Like, again, with this 2-goal deficit, you have 2 minutes, which is a long time when it gets to this point of the game to defend or to try and score. But the Battalion, I don't know, they're in tough right now against an Ottawa team that's played them really well so far this game and this season.
The difference on that play was that Donoso did not see that puck at all.
No.
And Jackson's shot was just a seeing eye, left side circle, through to the right side. So we're back underway. DiVincentis is still in the net for North Bay. 1:45 to play as the Battalion dump the puck into the zone. Jackson is chasing it in behind the net, flips it around in the near side corner. DiVincentis has come out of the net as they battle for it in the corner now. Send it right to Arnsby to the right side circle. Nelson's there, shot save made. Rebound comes out to Petrov. His shot doesn't get through. It's blocked in the middle by the 67s, and they will bring it down the ice. Rower sending it towards the net. Diving across is Petrov to make sure that that puck did not go into the empty net. Now North Bay have got to get the puck out of the zone. 1:05 to play. It's 3-1 for the 67s. Puck is still at the North Bay blue line. Jackson to Petrov, sending it down the ice. It's into the far side corner. North Bay have control. McDonald fell down, gets back up, can't control the puck, and the 67s bring it up to the blue line and dump it in. Nelson sends it back to the neutral zone. That's blocked towards the North Bay empty net, and it's a goal with Métier finding the empty net. And for Jack Métier, that's going to be his 4th goal this season.
And that sends the, if they weren't heading to the door before, that sends the fans to the door now, as Jack Métier gets that goal there to seal the deal for the Ottawa 67s, who will be boogieing all night long back down Highway 17 towards the nation's capital, Matt.
And it sets up a very interesting matchup on Sunday with the North Bay Battalion and their first Central Division opponent of the season. Off the draw, the Battalion going in! A beautiful move by Romani to dink out Donoso, and he scores on the backhand to make it 4-2 with 30 seconds remaining. Where has that been all night? Anthony Romani with a highlight reel move to undress Donoso for his first of the season.
You know what's this giving me? Shades of the Powassan Voodoos versus the Greater Sudbury Cubs on Game 2 of the NOJHL Showcase, where the Voodoos were down by a lot, scored twice in the last minute to make it a 1-goal game. Again, too little, too late for Powassan in that game.
Yeah, it was a 3-goal game for North Bay. It's now a 2-goal game. It's 4-2 Ottawa. And North Bay bring the puck right back in. But North Bay aren't getting the extra attacker out there this time. Still stuck on the end. Boards behind the Ottawa net. 10 seconds to go. Ottawa get it. They'll clear it. And that's going to do it for this one. Ottawa comes in. They win it 4-2. And they remain undefeated. They're in 7th heaven as they go 7-0 to begin this season.
The Ottawa 67s just playing a good game of hockey, really suffocating the Battalion. And if you're the Battalion, you got to think, you have to really go back to the drawing board here and come back with a completely different effort against the Barrie Colts Sunday. If you're going to play the way that you did in this one, I mean, although the Battalion did control the pace of play for a lot of it, but if you're going to play the game the way that you played in this one, with some mental lapses and stuff against the Barrie Colts, you're going to come out with the same kind of result here on Sunday.
That'll be our next Battalion broadcast. We'll have a Voodoo's game for you tomorrow on the Frontline broadcast. But to recap tonight's game and to get your 3 stars, we'll turn things over to the postgame show with Derek. So for Courtney Kenny, I'm Matthew Sugrum. Thank you for joining the game part of our broadcast, and we'll turn things over to the postgame show coming up right after this.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And welcome back, friends, to the Battalion post-game show on the Frontline broadcast. I'm Derek Lindeman. I'm pleased to be joined by Sam Boyven and Minden Holtkamp for the post-game show. Make the final here for Memorial Gardens 4-2 for the Ottawa 67s. Let's take a look at the game summary for tonight's contest. Opening up the scoring was Brad Gardner, his 5th of the season on the power play at the 13-0 mark of the first period. Henry Muse and Cameron Tonali with assists on that goal before Tyler Boucher, his 5th of the season, made it 2-0 at 14:08. Gavin Ools and Vincent Rohrer picking up assists. That's how the first period ended. 67's up 2-0. No scoring in the second period before Vincent Rohrer, with his 3rd of the season, made it a 3-0 game. Jack Marchier and Brady Stonehouse with the assist on the eventual game winner. Kyle McDonald got the Battalion on the board at 18:08 of the third period. Matvey Petrov and Kyle Jackson assisting on McDonald's 2nd goal of the season before Jack Mache ended the scoring for the Ottawa 67s into the empty net, his 4th of the season at 19:23. And just 6 seconds later, Anthony Romani, with his 1st of the season, concluded the scoring for tonight's contest. Penalties in the affair. First period, Justin Earl for slashing at 12:24. Cameron Tonali hooking at 17:32. Liam Arnsby for a face-off violation at 5:10 of the second period. And Luca Pinelli for roughing, 19:39 of the second period. And in the third period, Justin Earl with his 2nd penalty of the game, 6:11, 2 minutes for high sticking. And the last penalty, Henry Muse of the Ottawa 67s, high sticking, 12:28. Shots on goal in the third period, the Ottawa 67s 10 for a total of 24. North Bay 15 for a total of 33 on the evening. In the specialty team department, Ottawa was 1 for 3 on the power play. Meanwhile, the North Bay Battalion 0 for 3. Face-offs dominated again by the North Bay Battalion, 49-24 in that category, and make the final 4-2. Elsewhere around the OHL this evening, the Erie Otters have defeated the Niagara Ice Dogs by a score of 4-3. Peterborough Petes lead the Kingston Frontenacs by a score of 5-1 late in the third period. And now a final in Windsor as the Saginaw Spirits sneak by the Windsor Spitfires by a score of 3-2. Now for your 3 stars of service, as brought to you by Dave's Automotive.
Tonight's 3 stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
As the Ottawa 67s win this game by a score of 4-2, they dominate all 3 of the 3 stars tonight for Dave's Automotive. 3rd star, Brad Gardner. He had the opening goal of the game for the 67s. 2nd star, Max Donoso, making 31 saves in the victory. And 1st star, Visnes Roner of the Ottawa 67s, a goal and assist. Well, good gentlemen, Sam and Lyndon, let's bring you in for some of the highlights of this contest. Not much to speak of for the North Bay Battalion. They got a lot of scoring chances, but did able to break that shutout late in the third period of play.
Yeah, they did, and I'm sure that there's maybe some enjoyment in that for the battalion, but overall you want the win and you didn't get the win, so really the only one upset about that is the goalie who didn't get a shutout. So
yeah, talking about Dom DiVincentis, you were talking about Max Donoso, yes. But a scary moment in the third period there, as after that third goal, Dom DiVincentis stayed down for a little bit to get some attention of the trainer of the North Bay Battalion. Just how scary is that for a goaltender when you see him on the ground?
It's really scary as a fan. You don't want the goalie to be injured. He's the heart and soul of the team, so when he went down, you just wish for the best for him, and it was he appeared to be okay after a bit of time and got up, and yeah. It
was good to see him carry on to conclude the third period of play. Lyndon, your thoughts on how strong this Ottawa 67s team is? 7-0 start, best start for an Ottawa 67s team in franchise history. Just how strong really is this team?
Oh, so strongly. You can tell after a game like this why they're still undefeated. To have a bit of a rough second period and to come out flying in the third and just to control the game for the first part of the third period. To have the first period go the way it did, you can tell why they're the best team in the OHL right now.
Sam, final thoughts on tonight's game?
I think the Battalion played all right. I think that the score was a little bit closer than it should have been. I think that it was a very good second period for the Battalion, but they just weren't consistent enough in their play.
Lyndon, for you, Barrie Colts come into town Sunday, 2 o'clock start here at Memorial Gardens. What does North Bay have to do if they want to come out with a victory in that game?
Yeah, North Bay's going to have to just bounce back from this game, like to reset, to really turn on that offense and start turning those chances into goals. You got to work on that over the weekend, I guess.
Well, thanks, Lyndon and Sam, for joining us tonight on the Frontline broadcast. The next Battalion game will be Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock start. Barrie Colts will make a visit here to Memorial Gardens. If you want to listen to hockey before Sunday, you can catch the Frontline broadcast. They'll be in Powassan tomorrow night, as the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners will be in town to play the Powassan Voodoos. But for Matt Serukum, Courtney Kenny, producer Ben Long, Lyndon Holkamp, Sam Boyven, myself, Derek Lindemann, thanks for tuning in to Battalion Hockey on the Frontline broadcast. Make the final 4-2, Ottawa 67. So long from Memorial Gardens.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.